Welcome to Episode 6 of Ain't Life Funny. I'm Matt. I'm here with Aaron. How you doing today, Aaron?
Man, what's up, man? I'm good, bro. What's up, world? Y'all are back to listen once again to your most knowledgeable idiots out here. You know what I'm saying?
Uneducated opinions.
Right, exactly. It's like, you want to listen to somebody that knows a little bit about a lot of shit? We got the place for you.
Or maybe even not even a little bit, but we'll talk about it.
Right. Exactly.
We can make you think we know a little bit.
Right, exactly. It's like, but what is the internet other than that, though? I mean, ever since its fucking infancy, it's been, just random people spouting information, whether it's right or wrong information. That's not what the internet's about, bro. It's information. That's what
it's just opinion. Everything's opinion now.
Exactly.
Even ESPN, which used to be like them watching actual games, is just now, oh, maybe Dak Prescott got in his feelings last week about a tweet. It's like, you don't even know. You're just thinking that happened.
That's what's funny about sports shows to me is that we all see the same game and the outcome is always is the same at the end of the game. It's not like you watch the Dolphins play and then like in one version on my TV they won and on version on your TV they lost. It's literally like what happened and then there's still so many varying opinions of shit. Like, well, they should have been throwing the ball more. And then somebody was like, yeah, no, they should have been running the ball more. It's like, guys, they lost. Like, they should have won. Like, how about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever they need to do that's going to make them win, that's what they need to do. Like, but sports shows ain't like that at all.
Especially now, because there is nothing happening. They don't even, it's like just a tweet or, I mean, honestly, unfortunately, it's like a lot of dudes are just getting arrested on some crazy shit now. That's really the only actual news that they're getting from sports.
Yeah. Well, check this out. They've been doing that Jordan LeBron shit, you know what I'm saying, for so long now because of that show. And, like, I know, I'm pretty sure what your opinion on this is, too. But who do you got, Jordan or LeBron? Like, I don't even know how this is even really an argument, but.
I just don't like comparing basketball players, especially like when they weren't playing against each other. But I mean, I think Jordan. I mean,
well, my thing is, I always find it funny that they never bring up certain topics on shit. Like, for example, they always be like, "Oh, if LeBron played in Jordan's era, he wouldn't be as hard and shit because people played harder defense." It's like, yeah, but so would he. Like, he would also be fouling people. And then if LeBron is 265 fouling you, like. You're going to be different, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he's hand-checking Jordan, like, yeah, Jordan going to feel that shit, you know what I mean? So
there was no physical specimen like LeBron James back then. Like, some guy that could just body you up that wasn't Shaq.
Right. And the other thing is, bro, is that if you look at just, like, the comparison of the two, they don't even play the same position. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jordan was strictly a shooting guard, kind of point guard dude, whereas LeBron literally plays all positions and motherfucker is a small forward, huge ass dude. Like, that's like asking me to, you know what I'm saying, like play left tackle and shit and block defensive linemen when I'm a running back. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not the same. Like, yeah, they both block people, but running backs chip block. They don't fucking stand a man up. You know what I mean? So it's
I feel like it isn't. You can't like for me if you're comparing a basketball player like right now. Let's take right now. Like LeBron's like an aging vet now, which is crazy, but that's what it is. But he's a legend. He's one of the top like 3 basketball players of all time, for sure.
And people, he's there. People in general, dude.
Yeah, he's not a bad dude.
In general.
He's a great story. Yeah. He even got championships and even got one in Cleveland. So he did all that shit. He did everything he wanted. But like, you can't now. Somebody that's coming up that you could probably compare him to down the line is that Zion dude, because it's just some guy that's like he's a freak. Like LeBron James is just like a genetic freak, and he just tailored that to basketball. I think LeBron James. I mean, I think I saw a story on this where maybe he even thought about training to be in the NFL, but he could totally have been in the NFL. Just like whatever he wanted to do, he just had to choose that, but he just chose basketball. I mean, wisely.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're a basketball player, first off, you're like American royalty. You know what I'm saying? Like celebrities, basketball players, like some baseball players experience at the height of fame in America too. But like, we don't have like a king and a queen. So like, those are kind of like Kylie Jenner, unfortunately, is like American royalty. I know that sounds terrible, but it's America. You know what I mean? It's McDonald's and Burger King. You know what I mean? It ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't eating haggis and shit. So it's just a whole nother type of style over here, shit. But like, I just find it funny. That's all that they even have this argument for so long. Because to me, I mean, like me and you came up in the time we saw both of them play, and I mean, like I just kind of feel like LeBron is under so much scrutiny because of Jordan that it's not even fair to compare the two anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like if you were to like be Jesus' little brother or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he over here fucking feeding the sick and shit, man. What you doing? Like, well,
I mean, you could make, it's just like, you could make arguments for both of them.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
LeBron was compared to Michael Jordan when he was a little kid coming into the league. Like, I saw that guy in Ohio play at the college I played at, and he was like in high school. And there was like thousands of people flocking to watch him play when he was 16. So
exactly.
Jordan didn't have success immediately in the league. He wasn't immediately successful, but LeBron was. So like he did things that maybe Jordan couldn't, but I don't know, dude. Like maybe it's just because I came up in that time, but I just feel like Jordan first psychologically dominated people more, and he was more successful. I mean, he just seemed to be a clutch guy more. Like LeBron's fucked up. I mean, he's definitely had clutch games, but he hasn't. I don't know. Even now, even saying it, it's like I don't want to criticize either of them. I don't really. You can't.
You know what? Also, though, man, is they always try to hold LeBron captive for that loss that he took in Miami to the Mavericks and shit. But nobody wants to really state how beast Dirk Nowitzki was playing that year, bro.
Yeah.
Like, people really are sleeping on him, bro. Like, this is what I like. 2 seasons of some of the most incredible shit I've ever seen. And like one guy I truly hate, which is Peyton Manning. I've never really been a Peyton Manning fan, bro. But I got to give him props. That first Super Bowl that he won, bro. I remember watching that season and seeing what he was doing. He was scrambling for touchdowns. He was throwing his ass off. He was doing shit I've never seen Peyton Manning do, where it was just like he is laying his life on the line to try to win this Super Bowl. That's probably why he lost. That's why he hurt his neck, you know what I'm saying, that year. Because he literally was just like doing anything possible to try to win. And he did. So I got to give him credit for that. Like, you don't sit back and look at the other team.
He did come back. I mean, he had some off years after that, but he came back and won a fucking Super Bowl again.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. You can't, like, sit there and then hold the other teams hostage for losing to that dude because he gave it all on the line and shit. Like, same thing, like, with the Steelers and shit. Like, the Steelers went to the Super Bowl and won against the Cardinals, and then they lost against Green Bay, right? So, when they lost against Green Bay, are you going to hold the Steelers hostage for that when really Aaron Rodgers had the most incredible run that season to get through the playoffs, dog?
Even that game, as a wild card. Dude, you couldn't stop that guy. He just – it's crazy when that happens, when dudes zero in like that, and
it just happens.
There's nothing
bro.
You can do, you know.
And Dirk did the same thing to him that year. I'm telling you, if you saw that season, bro, Dirk Nowitzki was like hitting step back jumpers on everybody. He was fucking dunking on people. Like, he was playing defense. Like, I was like, this is a whole other Dirk Nowitzki right here, bro. So as much as people want to try to hate on this dude,
people, I can't really remember like their starting.
They had Jason Terry, bro. They had Jason Kidd. They had
they had some big ass dude.
Tyson, the center, I forget his name, Tyson Chandler.
Yeah,
they had him. Like they had a squad, bro. Like that, I'm telling you, that was a squad, man. So anybody want to say that, but then they want to. To me, it's like taking credit away from that other team. It's like, yeah, they lost, and like Miami was great, but Dallas balled their ass off, went through the whole West Conference, and was like beast mode on everybody. So I don't know. I just feel like they be trying to crucify LeBron too much, but I think it's all because we just saw such greatness with Jordan. You know what I mean? But we saw it before with, like, you know, Bill Russell and Larry Bird and shit.
It's just like it gets amped up. I mean, there's more people watching them now. There's more people talking about them now. There's more pressure on them to do well. And, I mean, to his credit, people can – I don't know why people hate on LeBron. It's just one of those – it's like the Tom Brady thing where I don't really hate – I don't think he's a shitty player. I don't hate him. I don't like him because he always fucks me over personally, you know?
You know what my thing with Tom Brady is, though, is that I just think that team has a lot of fortunate circumstances that went their way, but also I don't even know if it was Brady so much as it was just the fact that their whole team just had a demeanor where it was like, no matter what happens, don't panic. You know what I mean? Like, because you can see some football teams, when they start losing, they get their head down on the bench, and they just be like, man, like the Jets. Like, if you get up 14 on the Jets, like, you can see they start looking like, here we go again, man.
My
Like
team,
fucking
the Steelers are
Browns
just
too.
like that, dude.
Yeah,
Ben
bro. Like they
throws
get to
one
thinking like that.
pick, and then boom,
Right.
they start shittily running the ball, and then don't get any success. Another interception, and then it's
Right.
just mistake after mistake after mistake.
Right. But then if you look at like Cowboys do it too. But if you look at like the year that the Patriots won, remember that play when that dude Ben Watson, the tight end, chased some dude down from like 100 yards away and shit? Like, what Tom Brady have to do with that? Not a goddamn thing. He threw the pick. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, bro. Like, you can't give Brady all this greatness and credit and shit. Or I mean, I'll say I don't hate on him either. I think he's good and all that. But it's like that whole team was good, bro. They just had a mindset of like, we gonna be all right no matter what. We gotta keep.
I think
That's why I hate the
coaching,
Cowboys.
dude. I really think
I think so too.
it has to be the behavior and shit and the attitude.
Yeah.
Because teams that aren't well disciplined and shit that have way more talent than them. I mean, even the Browns have way more talent than them. You don't see them doing anything like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're the ultimate example of like shit not going your way and just quitting on a game easy, bro. Because like, I mean, I don't blame them because they don't have no offensive line. So to me, it's like, if you ain't got an offensive line, you're just getting beat up all game. Like eventually, yeah, you're the defensive player on the other, looking at your offense on the field. And it's just like, God damn, bro, these folks got 3 first downs. Like, and you out there tackling your ass off. Like, I get why you would want to quit.
You know what's fucked up though? They like for a long time they had all the draft picks in the world, so they could have drafted a fucking at this point what would be like a Hall of Fame offensive line. They had Joe Thomas for a decade and plus. And that guy's like a Hall of Fame guard. So they had one spot that was good to go, and they never totally invest in anything. They'll get a new coach, and they'll be like, we're all in on the system. But when the system doesn't work, which it never does completely unless you're just a genius, they dismantle it. Or they tweak it, and they're like, well, you can still be the coach, but we're going to do what we want to do and pick up the free agents we want to. And then they do stupid shit like get Odell Beckham, where I guess it's a good move because it's a talented wide receiver, but you could have invested 2 draft picks and gotten, an offensive lineman, another thing to add depth.
And a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, somebody that's probably – I don't think Odell Beckham's that great. So he does exciting shit, but he isn't a consistent entity on the team.
Yeah. Well, you know that guy that the Ravens got, Antonio Brown's cousin, Marquise Brown or whatever. Like, him, like, you see him, like, he's on his rookie contract. He came in the league doing everything pretty much that Odell Beckham Jr. could do for half the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense for you to really go on your bag on any team like that. I mean, that's kind of what my problem with the Cowboys is, man. Jerry Jones, you could tell he just gets to a point where he's like, well, I got to kind of pay this guy because he's been good. And I kind of appreciate that about Jerry Jones. He seems like a straight-up guy, but that's not how you operate a business, though, neither. You got to just kind of be cutthroat and shit and be like, well, if you ain't going to pay for this amount, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you keep your team under salary cap where you can make moves and adjustments and stuff, But I don't know. Sports is funny, dude, because, like I said, even now we're doing exactly what we were just talking about, where it's just like talking about the speculation of sports versus even seeing a game and shit.
Meta, dude. So it's like 4D chess. We're trying to see 5 moves ahead. But yeah, ESPN's the I can't watch the Michael Jordan shit. I don't have ESPN Plus, so
yeah, me neither. I
haven't seen any of that shit.
But I've seen all that shit live, bro. Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I lived through all that shit. Like, anybody that want to talk about it, I mean, I can tell you, it's like, yeah, I saw that shot when he busted on Utah like that. Like, I remember exactly where I was standing because I was thinking to myself, damn, the Bulls finally about to lose. I think they can't pull it off this time, man. And then that fool went out there and balled, bro. Like, he did his thing. So, but I've seen LeBron do that too. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen mad players do that. I've seen Allen Iverson do that. Which, to me, is one of the most underrated people of all time because Kobe Bryant said it out of his own mouth. He was like, Allen Iverson made me play harder. How you make Kobe Bryant play harder basketball, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro.
Dude, Allen Iverson would take over games. He would, as a small dude, win and take over games for a team that Philadelphia was not that great. I mean, they had that
no
one
business.
season.
They had no business being in the finals, bro. Like, because do you remember how they got to the finals? They had to beat Vince Carter. Bro, they beat Vince Carter in one of the most controversial playoff series of all time. Like, if you ever get a chance, like, if you're bored one day, go back and look up the Toronto-Philadelphia 2001 series. It was some of the most tight, wild games you ever seen in your life, and it came down to Game 7 where it was just like, do or die type shit. Like one of the most greatest anticipation games of all time in sports, bro.
I used to love watching that dude play. I hate Philadelphia teams, but I definitely there's no Pittsburgh basketball team, so that was as close as I could get for that shit.
Well, he's from my hometown, so I got a rep regardless. But I'm just saying, man, I've seen mad people play at point guard position. I ain't never seen nobody do from the point guard position what he does. Like the closest thing I've seen is Russell Westbrook, but he ain't as threatening because he can't shoot though. You know what I'm saying? He can't shoot like AI, bro. AI could burn you from deep. He could steal the ball, he can dunk on you, do all that shit. You know what I mean? So
I feel like Russell Wilson, because I saw him play live once went to like a Washington game with my family a few years ago, and I feel like he just has some sort of endurance that most people don't have. So he's one of those guys that can run back and forth, and his speed is so much that he overwhelms. You just can't really cover him if he gets the ball and he has a little bit of room to work. Like you're basically just trying to keep up with him, and most people can't. So that's where he has. But Allen Iverson used to just fucking break people's ankles and then drain whatever he wanted to.
Yeah, man. Like it's funny what you said about Russell Westbrook. That reminds me of what my dad said. He was like telling me when he really used to play basketball, like in his 20s and shit. He was like, my game, I literally would just run people into the ground. He was like, I was in such good shape. I used to fucking ride my bike 20 miles sometimes and like all this crazy swim laps and shit. And then I get on a basketball court. He said literally he would get on the court. People would be like, damn. Not this motherfucker again, man. Like, who checking him, man? Who got him, yo? Because he literally would just run until the other guy would start getting winded. He's like, oh, time to start scoring. I was like, damn, bro.
That's like the ultimate difference maker in any sport, like even fighting. Like,
hustle, man.
Anybody that has endurance is going to if you can get through whatever the barrage is, especially in fighting.
Oh, yeah.
You can just do whatever you want at a certain point because they're so fucking tired,
Well, that's some of my best street fight advice for anybody out there is if you are about to get in the square off street fight and you don't think you can win outright with just knocking somebody out, because that's the first go-to is to just strike mid-sentence, you know what I'm saying? Like literally as they're about to call you a name.
Club punch.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But if club punch isn't an option or if you think it's not going to work, go ahead and guard your grill, bro. Just lock up, block. The average man can only throw punches for about 15 seconds. And after that, that's your bitch. You can literally just put him in a headlock, do whatever you want to somebody, bro. I'm telling you, I've done it multiple times to people where it's just like, oh, yeah, you tired, ain't you, motherfucker? It's just like, the best thing to do to that is to fucking put them in a bear hug, dude. Because then you can just like squeeze their ribs and shit, so now they can't breathe. Oh, my God. It's the greatest fighting move.
This is some fucking self-defense technique right here. I think you found your new career, bro.
Let's go, punk. Let's go.
Nah, I've just literally been raised around cousins, and I was the smallest one. So, like, all my guy cousins on my dad's side, my mom's side, have tried every wrestling move to me whatsoever. Like, I've been put in the torture rack before for probably, like, 45 minutes, dog. Like, I've been in the fucking, walls of Jericho.
Dude, those used to be so – I remember doing those moves, and if you tried to do that to me now, I'd be laid out for like.
You'd probably break my back. Yeah, probably crack my whole spine, bro. I remember I put my cousin in a Steiner recliner one time because I thought that shit was fake. He was mad.
He was like, put somebody in a figure four and let them lock it in on you, dude. That shit.
Yeah, I thought that was fake too. Yeah, I thought that shit was fake too. I had no idea.
You could fake it. You could definitely make it so it doesn't hurt, but if you actually do it the correct way, that is not.
It hurts.
You're not going to enjoy it
at all, bro.
I remember the worst one I ever had is there was this guy in WCW named Ultimo Dragon, and he just had like this fucking weird headdress shit on. But his
just like an Asian guy.
Yeah, that's basically all Asian wrestlers at that point. Was just either they spit some mist at you and had like a kabuki mask, or this guy. But he would get you. So basically, like, think about you're like you're on your knees, like one knee down on the ground, one knee up, right? And you're just facing. He would come up from behind, grab you, and do this and crank your neck back this way. in like a reverse headlock type thing. And my friend did that to me. Well, he wasn't even my friend. It was just some dude at my church or something, I think. But he did it for real. And you could audibly hear like a neck crack, which, it's probably just a neck crack. But it was so loud. He was like, oh, shit, and just dropped me on my fucking head. So not only did my neck hurt like a motherfucker, I had like whiplash for 2 weeks because of this shit. And he dropped me on my head. So I'm just sitting there fucking all out of it.
Oh, God.
That's dangerous, dude. And for at least 3 years straight, that's all me and my friends did were bootleg ass wrestling moves. In the most dangerous, we used to do that shit on a trampoline. And I mean, sometimes that makes it better, but sometimes you bounce off and it makes it way worse.
Hell yeah. Dude. Yo, do kids still even play wrestling anymore? Is that even a thing? I haven't seen it anymore. I don't know. Remember, like, our generation loved wrestling so much that backyard wrestling was a YouTube sensation for years, bro. Where literally it was just like guys that grew up loving wrestling started diving through tables and throwing ladders at each other. And it's like, you guys have no training.
They were doing the craziest of shit. They were like, they're like, they have like huge cuts on their face.
They set themselves on fire, bro. They set themselves on fire, dog. Like, it will be like, yo, y'all. There's no pyrotechnics expert here. Like, the WWF, I know that shit looks real, bro, but, like, trust me, like, they planned all that. Mankind decided to go through the grit. Like, chill out. He almost died doing that shit.
I always wonder about that in particular, how, I get he's used to, like, taking falls, and he did extreme shit his whole career. But when you're up there, was there any preparation before that where they're like, well, you're going to take an extreme fall? Like, did they do any planning, or were they just
I'm pretty sure
I guess this is going to work out?
I think what happened was that they probably choreographed all that beforehand, but they did it on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So, like, because, like, you can even tell if you watch that video when they're standing up there on that fence that whoever designed that probably didn't even, like, do it right, you know what I mean? Because it was like giving away and stuff. Yeah. You can see where they were stepping. Like, Undertaker probably weighs like 260, you know what I'm saying? Like 270, you know what I mean? Like,
so does Mankind.
So does Mankind. Yeah, so like when they were standing on that shit, like you could see it like kind of giving out anyway. So whoever made that fence probably didn't even like reinforce it the right way. So they were up there like, you know, going through it. Because even when Undertaker puts the chokeslam on him, if you really pay attention to that video, you can kind of look at him do it. Like he puts the grip on him. You kind of he gives him like a look like.
That's what I mean. Like you see them like I wish you could like have a camera right there to see exactly what he said in that moment, because it's almost like they both looked at each other and Undertaker's like, dude, are you sure about this? Or like something was said.
He does.
Because
he does. He gives him a look.
Because honestly, I mean, I don't know if you remember this. You remember how Owen Hart died, right?
Yeah. He came down from the Sting thing. From
so how far do you think he fell?
Oh, he had to have fell from like those ceilings in those stadiums, dude. That's what, like probably 7 stories up. You know what I'm saying? So like if he fell from the very top,
he fell like way up.
Yeah. Mankind, I think that drop was probably like 30 feet or 20 maybe even.
Flat on your back,
it might have been 20.
Bro?
Oh yeah, and the table didn't give way. Like he flat blow. The table didn't break nothing. Because usually when the table breaks, it kind of like takes some of that inertia, even though it's not soft. But he literally just went on that table and like you even saw it like. Everybody stopped and they put him on the stretcher. Like that shit was real, bro. Like, but you can tell. Like he looked at him.
Also, like, we're talking about it like he only took one huge fall. He took.
Oh yeah, he took tons.
He took two on that one match. He went off. Yeah,
that's right. You're right.
And he went into the middle onto the ring.
Oh yeah, onto the tacks too. Oh god.
And he spit out his fucking tooth. Like his tooth was up in his fucking nose and shit. It's like.
I mean, honestly,
and now if you want, but honestly, you want to know who a dude I give credit to, who when he became a wrestler, I was like, fuck this, and then I just stopped paying attention. Shane McMahon, bro. There's no reason that guy should ever do any of the shit he does, and he was doing crazy shit when I kind of was still watching wrestling, but. I stopped. I don't watch it.
Yeah.
I don't really pay attention. But we went to like a wrestling event here in LA, I think like 6 months ago, and he was in a match. And that motherfucker jumped off of a ladder onto a table. He jumped off a turnbuckle and put a ladder like on on the outside, so it was like across the ring and into the crowd a little bit, but it was just like a bridge.
Yeah.
Put a guy on it, did a frog slam onto that, and dude, this guy's like older than me, fucking still doing this crazy shit, dude. There's no reason.
Hey man, you better respect Shane McMahon, dog. He was tired of getting, just said he was a little daddy's boy, bro. He was out there getting it, man. Shit. And I just want to take this time to just bear respect to the greatest wrestling move of all time, the most dangerous wrestling move of all time, the most spectacular wrestling move of all time. The people's elbow. What are you talking about, bro? When he takes that pad off, that's like an extra like 50 kilograms of force coming down on you, dog. And then he goes to both ropes. Oh, your ass is grass. Like, you're already unconscious from the rock bottom. You see what I'm saying?
That's just,
I just used to love that shit.
Accessory move. And also,
I used to love that shit, dude.
How he his progression of just wrestling in general is hilarious. Because he got to a certain point, it was like, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, guys. And it's
right. He's like, what is your character even? It's like, I'm just a shit talking badass.
Yeah, that's all everybody was back then. Stone Cold Steve Austin was just a guy who drank beer and was doing that.
Well, he was trailer park though. See, that's what you gotta realize. It's like, see, I'm representing for all the people from out the hood, bro. I ain't talking like the hood. I'm talking about the trailer park hood. You know what's up.
You said the people's elbow, but personally, for me, just because he's such a legend. The Ric Flair just slapped to the chest where he was able to all consistently slap everyone where it sounded so where he'd backhand them in the chest. I never understood what that did. Ever. Like it was just like a pimpish yeah.
Yeah, man, exactly. It was just like, look, I don't know, I'm old, man. Like that's what everybody told everybody.
You up, old, man. And I'm gonna just slap the shit out your chest.
It's like, what? It's like, I guess that could work. But yeah, man, I just think it's just funny, all the outlandish wrestling moves. Like Hulkamania got stronger when he got hit, and then like Undertaker would get like reborn in the ring and shit.
Oh, fucking Ultimate War. Everyone in the 80s, like late 80s, early 90s, if you were those upper echelon of wrestlers, you had like this, there was a moment in every match where either they would get in those like tests of strength where they're like trying to like do that and they'd be getting beat, but like the crowd would get into it, and like Ultimate Warrior would, you just see him like the roids like go ultimate,
right?
Dragon Ball Z on the guy. I mean, that's what.
But now they don't even do that, dude. They don't even do that now. If you watch wrestling now, it's just the most technical wrestlers ever. Like it's just like all of them can do flips, all of them can do stuff off the ropes and stuff. Like it used to be awesome when it would just be like a fat dude that couldn't climb to the top rope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he
like
could just like
tugboat and shit, where it was just two like 400-pound fat white trash dudes. Like,
oh man,
where they would figure, because it was like tugboat, but then there was like typhoon. So if you were a fat guy, all they had to do was be like, "What's another big thing we could name you so you can do
hurricane?"
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna be cattle prods because you're like skinny and annoying, so you'll just prod them. See what I'm saying? Like just shit like that. That used to be hilarious, bro. But now, like I said, everybody's just like swole.
IRS, just a tax attorney that wanted to whoop your ass. Fucking
Macho Man, dude. Just a fucking misogynist. Like, that's all he was.
Do you remember Rick Rude, Ravishing Rick Rude?
Damn, what did he look like? I know that name.
He looked like a gay porn star, bro. He just he would just like he'd get over guys and like gyrate over them and shit. Now I think he was cool because I was like, damn, that guy was just like he looked like a superhero, but he was doing like very questionable shit.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, wrestling was the greatest thing in our era. Like, it'll never be another time like that unless we make our own wrestling league and just be like, look, man, we're just bringing back all the craziness. We're not even going to wrestle. We're just going to have the show.
It's always just like John James. It's just
Dick Nixon.
Yeah. Michael Carter.
It's like, Dick, what's up with you? Like, I mean, some of them have personas to a degree, but even like, what's his name, John Cena? Like, bro, if I had to sit there and listen to one more little half-ass Cena rap, bro, I just want to slap the shit out that dude. Even though, to his credit, they were better than I expected, but just not good. You know what I'm saying?
Some fucking failed rapper had to write that guy's lyrics and had to watch that guy perform that shit. You know, but he got paid. That was the way that whoever did that got paid.
Well, I just wonder how they even. I wonder if Cena brought that idea to the WWE or if they brought that to Cena. Like he was like, "What if I'm just like a rapper?" Because like. I feel like Cena couldn't rap in the mirror and see himself. You know what I'm saying? Like if he looked at himself doing that like beforehand to pitch that, I'd be like, man, I gotta think of another idea. Like this rap not sounding right.
Have you seen what he looks like now?
I don't know if I've seen. I mean, he's just in like a big commercials.
Muscle. He's just in that, but he has like hair and shit. He looks like he just looks like a ripped, like steroided up Kennedy or something.
Oh God!
So it's like the fact that he was rapping at some point. If you see him now, it's like, whoa.
Right.
What's that sound like,
bro? You know
like
what
a
would be
George
an awesome
Bush
show?
Started rapping.
I don't know why you just said George Bush, but I was just about to tell you the same thing. It would be the greatest TV show of all time if it was just a sit-down talk show with all the famous wrestlers from all time discussing their political views. Like as if they were still in the ring. So they get on the mic and it's just like, I'm telling you right now.
They're just cutting fucking promos, but about politics.
Hell yeah, dude.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Trump has no idea what he's doing with his foreign policy.
Right. It's like, if you take my guns, goddamn it. It's going to be hilarious, bro.
Dude, speaking of wrestlers and guns, if you just like search out photos, all these old wrestlers we're talking about, because they were traveling so much, like that ravishing Rick Rude guy, there's multiple photos of him with like Desert Eagles just posing at like a Holiday Inn, just in like a tank top with a bunch of other wrestlers and shit. It's like, what was the party lifestyle like of these guys? That's the movie.
Oh, Jesus.
That's the podcast I want to hear.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've already heard disgusting things about these guys in the locker room randomly. But that, like, era where it was, like, Ted DiBiase and all those people, I want to know what was happening back then. How much cocaine?
It literally... I was about to say, there's not even a number to calculate that, like, at this point. Like, it just would be, like so many blackouts where it's like, well, I remember I had about 3 kilos, and I think that whore must have stole one of them. God damn it. But the other two?
Actually, she didn't steal it. I just did it all. I couldn't help it. I did so much cocaine back then.
Right.
I've heard
like, and then you'll be talking to Hulk Hogan and just tell you something you don't want to hear, like, well, you know, there's a limitation to the nostril area. At a certain point, you sniff so much cocaine that it actually cannot absorb anymore. That's when you move to the rectum. You'd be like, okay, enough of that. Thank you, Hulk. And back to you guys at this stage.
Like, Hulk, how many women did you have? He's like, well, women became, I couldn't count at a certain point. So it became that me and Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, became embroiled in a love triangle. It's like, no.
Oh, yeah. Right. It's like, when you physically can dominate a man and then sexually arouse him at the same time. Like, oh my God, Hulk, stop, please, man. Like, well, I'm trying to tell y'all something, goddammit. Like,
SummerSlam '92. I'm backstage. Ted DiBiase pushes me into a closet and starts making love to me passionately.
It was at that moment I became a man. Oh, God. We're going to get our ass kicked now. Thanks. DiBiase.
I don't know why I singled Ted DiBiase out of this, but sorry.
I know, right? Yeah. You dropped the name like 5 times, man. I mean, leave him alone, man.
I mean, if we're going to go at him, though, I mean, he had a questionable act going on. A rich guy with a slave walker. I mean, let's not.
Hey, man.
He had a slave.
Hey, man. I mean, hey, man. Everybody had to have their hook, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had to have a gimmick.
Like, what if you had Tatanka, the wrestler, now? Do you think that would happen?
Nah. People, that's why I think wrestling is how it is now. I think that they just kind of had to sugarcoat everything to be like, look, you have no political stance. You're just a badass. So what else is special about me? You're badass, bro. And then what about me? Well, you're Irish looking So your name's gonna be Irish sounding, but you're not gonna rep Ireland, and you're a badass too. So like
Well,
what?
you're a
Like
supernatural creature that comes out of the shadows and wrestles, but we don't
Well, I
talk
mean,
about your political affiliation.
right. Well, I mean, they had the Brood, which I mean, them fools came on and drunk fake blood and shit, dog. Like
Yeah, that
all
shit
that
was
crazy shit. Like
crazy.
it was
Remember
just a lot of weird shit like
Val
that.
Venus, the porn star wrestler?
Oh, bro, I used to like Val Venus back in the day.
He
I
had
used
the
to think that shit was
greatest.
hilarious.
He had the best promos because it always
Oh
be
yeah, that's
like
what I
him
mean.
in bed, like, yeah, Val Venus here in bed, and then they just like go back a little bit, and some like woman would come out of the sheets, and he'd be like,
Right.
"Honey, did you find the remote?"
And when I penetrate the World Wrestling Federation, all the ladies all across the country will be squealing in delight. And oh yeah, you're gonna get all of Val Venus. Wow, I am just so good.
You know what else was
Super
hilarious?
sexual, weird shit.
The other thing I used to find funny was how they would just like always end a lot of the like Monday Night Raws with just like everybody came out the locker room and got in a fight, but then the next week they would never discuss that. Like it was just like, wait a second, like y'all were just brawling in the big rumble last night. Like why ain't y'all talk about this? Like y'all, it's just we just beat each other up. It's cool. Like don't worry about it. You know, we good next week.
I mean, it's crazy to think that there was now because you can record everything, it's so easy to rewatch it. How they probably could have just been like, oh, fuck that storyline, fuck that. Like they're not gonna remember that just because you didn't have anything that you. Most people can just rewatch an episode of Monday Night Raw or whatever. You just had to try to remember what happened.
True that. Dude, I remember I used to know this kid. He used to be so into wrestling and NASCAR, dog. He just had like every NASCAR jacket he would rock to school. Like he had like almost every driver. I think Jeff Gordon was his favorite, but he used to just have like every Jeff Gordon color though. Like every time his car changed, he had a jacket to match that shit. And then he had like every wrestling toy, bro. Like it was just like, damn, dog. Like his parents would let him like get all the pay-per-views and shit. Like he would go over his house and be like watching the pay-per-view, and I'd be looking at it like, damn, your parents paid this shit? Like they paid $80 to watch the fucking pay-per-view, dog? Like
that
just
shit was
a wild
so crazy
time, bro.
expensive, dude. I remember I had friends that would do. Eventually, me and like three friends actually split the cost. We had like convinced our parents to split the cost so we could get it, but we had to like involve many people to get it. It was like a huge undertaking. It only happened.
It was like $75, bro.
It was so, and plus it was like a crazy process. Like sometimes it would work, but then sometimes you had to call in, and there was no internet to fucking like do any sort of troubleshooting or any shit like that. Sometimes it just didn't work.
Man, shout out to the old school cable boxes. Let you watch scrambled porn back in the day.
Dude. Oh, so great. Just jerking off the sounds, bro.
It's just hilarious because like as a young boy, the things that you do, like if you were to see yourself like you could like go back in time and like actually I was watching that show you were telling me about, The Feed, where you can like watch your memories and all that stuff and all that, dude. Like if you could go back in time and just kind of like look, I'm talking about that you were telling me about that upload shit.
My bad. I was like, The Feed, what the fuck?
Yeah, that upload show. I mean, that's what I meant. But no, there's another one on there called The Feed. Yeah, I watched some of it, but there's another one, like say, called The Feed, where it's like everybody has social media in their head, and like this company is in charge of it all. So like it has like all your memories stored. So you can just go back and look at your memories. So like if you had an ex-girlfriend that dumped you, you can like go back to a time y'all made love and just like feel everything. And it's like you're actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like some crazy shit. Yeah. But I was just like, man, as a young boy, if you could do that to yourself, you just be like, God, man, you did it. You were in the closet, man. Like, what were you doing? Like, I needed privacy, man.
Or just like any of those like dumbass times in your life where you were just like when you're super young and just like talking to a chick and worrying about they, like asking a chick out is this huge deal. And you get now it's
It is
just
a
like
huge deal, man.
Jesus Christ. No, I mean it is. It always is. It's scary, but it's not like this. So if it doesn't happen, like the world's gonna shatter apart.
Oh yeah.
You start
Oh yeah. I
listening
mean,
to
don't get me
fucking
wrong,
like
man.
Morrissey albums in the dark with a candle lit, crying and shit.
Hell yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah,
is pretty
dude.
crazy, like the shit. I mean, Elon Musk was talking about some shit on Joe Rogan where it was just like sounded like all these things we're talking about, where they somehow are able to scan your memory, which this guy makes it seem like that's not an out of the box thing. Like it's very doable because it's all electricity and shit. So whatever. But the way he was describing it to me sounded where he was basically saying you're basically going into some sort of virtual like Westworld situation where in
Yeah.
theory you could be you now and you could be like, I want to talk to me at this date at this year and that version of me with all the thoughts at that point in time and just talk
Right.
to that person. So you could interview yourself at a specific time in your life without all the memories you have now. You could just like talk to that person, be like, God, I was such a fucking dumb fuck. But in
Well,
some virtual reality.
the thing about that technology though that seems so flawed to me, and even in like all of those things, like while talking about that TV show, all that is that if you as a person memories are distorted, you know what I'm saying? Like they've done mad experiments to show you that, and it's almost to the point where like whatever you tell yourself is the truth becomes the truth versus what actually happened. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when people talk about like parallel universes and shit. Like, I just find it funny that like they'll say like it's always something drastic. Where like, oh, what if it was another universe where everybody was walking on their hands instead of their feet or something? You know what I mean? But really, like it could be something small where just like one blade of grass is going this way instead of that way in this universe, and then everything else is the same. And then in the next one, like 2 blades of grass are doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be so infinite that it's like an infinite number that you can't even truly comprehend. You know what I mean?
I mean, no,
like
you
same thing
can't.
with that with the computer trying to
The
scan your
reason
memory.
you can't comprehend that is because to me, the concept of infinity, period, that is what infinity is, something you can't comprehend.
Right.
You could never comprehend every little possibility in every little moment in everybody's life, in every place, at every time. I mean, you could never do that. So just that concept in general shows you that infinity is just something that it is what it is. We know about it, but we can't really comprehend it, you know?
Right. Well, that's what I was saying with like a computer bringing up your memories and then you experiencing or talking to yourself. Like if infinity exists and then you as a human already have distorted memories and stuff. So like certain things, like even as a person, like when you were growing up, like you had like issues about, but you didn't even know why. You know what I mean? Like maybe you were afraid to swim or something, but you don't even know why you're afraid to swim. You know what I mean? So like then when you go back and ask yourself, why are you afraid? What would the computer interpret as your fear? You know what I mean? Like just some like craziness where it's like, how could technology ever even grasp the complexity of like what a human is even dealing with on a like physical side, but then also emotional side, all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I just feel like that's just them talking because he's one of them tech dudes, and I think they just like to sound hella cool. Actually, it's funny. It was a show I was watching. Oh, that show Devs, dude, that I was telling you about. Where that's one of the things they talk about, that all those tech guys in Silicon Valley reach a point where they get like this crazy God complex because they feel like technology is the next form of like evolution and shit. So they're kind of like guiding the pathway. So they're like the holder of the secret knowledge or whatever. You know what I mean? Like some crazy shit.
Well, I mean, I think like we give them that because like a guy like Elon Musk, like I was trying to listen to him talk and watch the video of him on Rogan and shit, even just anything he does. The way he communicates and shit, there's some sort of distortion from, I don't know if he just he has to like dumb down what he's saying, but it never seems like he really knows what he's truly talking about. When he was going on about all this stuff, like Joe Rogan would ask him something and he'd have like what it sounds like, it's almost like arrogant answer, but it seems like it's almost like that hyper nerd where he never had to really go out into public because he was so intelligent. So his language doesn't really flow with the way we communicate. So it just sounds like he is like I feel like all those people, this God complex thing is just like they're so dialed into whatever their expertise is that they come off as like ultra arrogant. I don't know if he is, but that's the way he comes off to me. He does seem like he has a God complex, but that it might be just like a communication thing too, you know?
Well, think about this too, though, dude. All those people, like, even if you just got money in general in America, mad people, like, you create like this sphere of like attraction where people be trying to get at your money or like work for you because you pay them and stuff. So they have to kind of like be your servants in a way, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like maybe that also plays into that because then it's just like, everybody knows you're Elon Musk. Like everybody knows you're Steve Jobs. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, to a degree, we do give them godlike power because like your iPhone, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like technically Apple knows everything that you text and search and read up. You know what I'm saying? Like, do they want to give it to somebody or not is up to them. But I mean, you trust them and put your faith in them like a God to be like, well, I'm gonna give you all my information. Don't steal my credit card number. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you do that with any company. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go to Bank of America or if you go to fucking the grocery store, even you're hoping that the grocery store is not going to take your credit card and go and buy a whole bunch of fucking TVs with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they could. They have your information. They got all the stuff right there to do it.
It's true. Well, I don't think Elon Musk needs my money, so I'm cool. He can keep making.
I mean, he just sold his house. He just sold his house. I don't know.
He's a weird guy, man. I don't know.
I give him props though. Because he's trying to keep the ownership of his company. Like most people in his situation with one of these like kind of still startup trying to develop companies sell a lot of their shares off so that they're not necessarily a majority holder, but they still have like a lot of the company and shit so that they can like keep doing their work. Like that's how you keep getting money is like funding your business with the shares of your next, you know, what do they call it? Next round of funding or whatever and shit. So like with him, instead of doing that, he just like keeps trying to do it himself. So he'll just like, said he sold that house so he could fund his next round of like development because he wants to build that place out in Austin, a new factory and shit, which is kind of crazy that you would even have an asset that worth that much money to do something like that. So it just shows you how rich he really was. But it's just like in like big scope of things, he's actually not as rich as some other people are, which is even crazier. Like he's rich as fuck, and then there's people that are like, "Fuck you, rich." You know what I'm saying?
Bezos has enough money to buy the world, bro. He's like a 30 trillion or 3 trillionaire now or some shit.
Dude. Honestly, man, like if I got that much money at a point, like I probably would just give it away. Yeah, I mean, that's why people like me, you would never get that rich. I know I'm saying that. I mean, legitimately, dude, like if somebody were to ask me for something, you have no reason to say no at that point, except for the fact you just don't feel like fucking with them. Like you like, I just don't fuck with you. Like that would be my answer if I wanted to tell somebody no. But otherwise, I'd just be like, yeah, just go ahead, man. It's like, well, I mean, it's like $1 million. I'll be like, I have several millions of those millions. So go ahead.
I have hundreds of thousands of millions. So
you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. It just like, to me, I couldn't even imagine being that rich, dude. Like, I feel like it would be a burden at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm sure he probably wakes up every day eating good, sleeping great. You know what I'm saying? Doing all the things. I mean, I feel like the part of the reason though too is you have to be a little bit crazy to get that rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause somebody like you and me, bro, like we've been been through enough shit where it's like, if I get like a cool 200,000 in the bank so I know I could retire and never have to work again, I'm cool with that, dog. Like, I don't need to go get no new cars and shit. Like, I could do anything I want for it. If I had enough money to where it's like, I got like, what, 20 mil or whatever. If I had 20 mil, dog, I'd be the laziest motherfucker on 20 mil. Get 20 mil, you got to hustle like a mug. So that's what I think is the correlation there. But it's almost like a craziness of hustle where it's just like, I got 20. Now I got to get another 20. Then I got to get another and another. Like, where it just don't never stop. You know
that's what fuels them. They're just like competitive people.
Right. Because I'm telling you, me, I know I'll get to a point where I'd be like, oh, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to be Jeff Bezos.
Bro, I've been so broke for so long. Just having a little bit, like even now, having a little bit of money where I'm not like panicked about all the shit going on.
Stealing and shit.
Well, yeah, right? Like, go fucking getting our little hustle items from Ralph's through the self-checkout. gratis.
Hey, what's the statute of limitations on
I'm not.
on Grand Theft
I gotta
Grocery?
look that up before we go into that episode of our true struggle.
Yeah, we got to keep
Los
that on the
Angeles.
on the low.
Allegedly,
These are just hypothetical questions, you know.
Allegedly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But
But yeah, I feel you, dude.
I just feel like it's funny people say money doesn't. I'm sure many people have talked about this, but the more money I have away in the bank, the more happy I am. I'm truthfully.
Well, I think when people say money can't buy happiness is that physically. I mean, I think they're more so saying that you can't just go to a store and get enough shit that'll satisfy you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you were like getting all that money, but you were like alone in the world, like didn't have a family, didn't have a wife, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might feel differently about having that money, you know what I'm saying? Whereas someone who, you know, like you said, like has been struggling and shit, like you're gonna be like, hell yeah, I'm happy, dog. Like, what you mean? Like, I ain't gotta work no more. Like, I ain't fucking riding a bus 20 hours a day. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't got a boss anymore and shit.
Right. Hell yeah. So I mean, I think it's just like I'm with you on that side of it. Like, yeah, it would make me happy in that sense because that's really what I want out of life anyways, is financial freedom. You know what I'm saying? Which I think everybody wants. And it's kind of crazy to think that if we were to just do away with the finance side, we could all just have freedom, dog.
Yeah.
But don't nobody want to get on that.
Money's fake anyway now. You just print money.
It is. It
print
is.
Up another
I mean,
trillion.
now more than ever, it's
trillion.
proven. Right. What's up,
I
man?
I need that real deal stimulus. Stimulate me.
Right, exactly. Shoot. Now, I will say this, though, bro. I feel like anybody that questions this corona, if it's real or not, you got to look at that money that they gave everybody, dog. You ain't never seen the government just hand out some checks, dog. Like,
and they're trying to do
that to
more,
me showed they
bro.
was terrified.
They're trying to do it again.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Which tells me, if we've been, how long have we been locked up? 3 months?
Yeah.
So if they gave us $1,200 for 3 months and they're about to give another $1,200 out, that means they're expecting another 3 months to me. That's like a slight indication of that. And actually, you know what, Aaron? I'm glad that you brought up the coronavirus and money and people. This is going to lead me into something related to coronavirus that I wanted to bring to your attention. So everyone's like reopening. You know, states are slowly coming back. People are trying to figure out what to do. Some states are crazier than others. Some people are crazier than others and want to get out there and rush out and shit. So I think a lot of people stumbled on this story about a festival. I think it's a Jeep-related festival for people in Texas, and it's called, I think, the Tops Off Festival.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
I did not hear about this. No, I did not hear about this story.
So let me just kind of get up here. I have a story on Yahoo, but I also have a video I want to show you. But this is called Go Topless Jeep Weekend, and it's on the Gulf Coast Bolivar Peninsula.
That's probably like Houston.
Galveston County, Texas.
Yeah, that's right under Houston.
Yeah.
It's like south of Houston.
So basically, a lot of white people out here. This looks like just like a trailer park unleashed on the beach. And if you remember those videos of like spring break, like the kids partying and shit.
Yeah.
Those were kids on spring break.
Right.
These are old white people. And this shit is just going insane.
What's better than beach and a few drinks and Jeeps? Man, you can't get better than that.
In full swing at beaches on Bolivar Peninsula.
White trash is out. This news company sends this reporter out who's a black dude and basically put him surrounded by the most insane white people that I've seen in a long time. So let me go ahead. I'm going to send you a link to this video.
Oh man,
you gotta see this. It's so funny.
Bro, that sounds like if I was a news reporter, bro. Because like honestly, man, I will say as a black man, I love watching crazy white boy shit. I just ain't gonna participate. Like I legitimately will film you kill yourself jumping off of some shit. But I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's like don't ask me.
Remember that documentary we did in film school? We almost allowed that to happen. I mean,
bro,
back, I think we should have, but
Bro, when y'all asked me that shit, for everybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, in film school, we did a documentary about a guy called Mike Busey, who was somehow Gary Busey's nephew or something, but something like that. But what was going on was that he was trying to be like the next jackass on the internet. Like he had
this guy's still out there, bro. They could just look up
sure.
Mike Busey, Orlando, Florida.
I'm sure.
This guy's just
you'll find him. Yeah,
jackass.
You'll probably see some video footage that we gave him. But like one of the stunts he wanted to do was put his friend to put a key to a dog cage up his ass and then lock him in the dog cage and then drop the dog cage through the screening of their outdoor pool into the pool and then have him poop the key out and then rescue himself before he drowned. And the way that I don't know who thought of the stunt, but then the way that we all decided we were going to do it was a vote
the guy that was
going to
put the key in his ass is the guy who thought of the stunt.
Hey, Art's down to put a key in his ass and lock him in the cage and throw him in the pool if y'all are down to film it.
Okay. See, I wasn't there for that part, but
that guy was a straight badass.
Yeah, that dude was actually cool.
I don't know, Sausage Castle. I think it was just a bunch of us dudes living in a fucking house. You know, trying to score some stank finger, you know?
Yeah, that dude was actually pretty cool. It was like Caveman or something. He had one of those weird, like, nasty white boy nicknames, something like that. I don't remember what it was, though, either. But what I do remember is that the way that people were trying to, I think, stop this, because people didn't want it to happen, was we were going to take a democratic vote amongst everyone. So, for whatever reason, they started asking us as if I cared about these people. Like, I don't know these guys. Like, I just met them. Like, I'm just shooting the video, guys. You know what I'm saying? So, like, don't ask me about the value of your own life. You know what I'm saying? So we go around the room, everybody votes, and they get to me and they say, are you cool with this? I was like, man, I'll film it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. So I'm down. Matt's down. Other Matt's down. Everybody else in the film group's down. So the only way this got stopped, all the beauty guys are down, was that the guy's girlfriend scared. She said, no, I don't want you to do this, which kudos to that guy for having a girlfriend, because I don't know what future they saw together, but that was a straight up dumpster fire of a marriage. Oh, man.
Dude.
That was going to be a problem child for sure. Like, they would have birthed Chucky.
We saw his nutsack. He had condoms with his ears in the freezer. Dude.
He had a deviated asshole, a deviated rectum. Like, he somehow fell out of a tree and landed directly on a stick that somehow cut his ass next to his asshole. So he had two assholes. That's a deviated asshole, dog. That's what that is.
Remember when he almost blew himself
deviated rectum
with the fucking gas can?
Bro, Matt, you didn't realize I didn't care about them people? Guess who gave him the gas can and all of the fireworks? Me.
Dude.
I brought all the fireworks to that shoot. Like, literally, I told him when we got there. I whispered it in his ear when nobody was around. I said, hey, man, just so you know, I probably got like 200-something fireworks back at the crib, man. You think we could do something with that? And his eyes lit up, and I was like, got his ass. Like, it's like, yeah, man. Like, this dude fucking shot a shotgun through a car battery. Like, he just was doing all types of crazy shit.
I forgot about that.
Man. Yeah, I was like, hey, man, I'm just going to keep ramping this dude up until he inevitably kills himself, and then we're just going to film a murder. And this is just the whole documentary is going to shit.
We didn't get that far. We got a good documentary out of it, but we didn't get that far.
Oh, man. Bro, the documentary, if he had died, it just would have been like, we would have switched the whole shit. We wouldn't even have went to his funeral, and it's just like, the dangers of social media. Like, this was Mike Busey. Like, we say was, because during the course of this documentary.
You want to know what fame can do to somebody? Watch this.
Right, it's like, we still getting A, motherfucker. Like, regardless of what happens to you, like, we're going to pass this class, dog. I don't know if you know that, but you're in it to win it, so let's do it, buddy.
Yeah. I don't have to let you survive to make this thing an A project. So,
bro, I would be the manager to Elvis, just like shoving another donut down his throat, sprinkle with some cocaine while he's on the toilet. Like, come on, King, just got one more show, baby, one more show. You can do this. Like, I don't know, but
giving Ray Charles like, yo, Ray, I know you want to give up the heroin and whatnot, but got this.
You don't got the music without it, man. The soul ain't in you unless you got some of the dragon. You gotta chase it. Come on, baby.
Good. We need to make this song better, buddy.
I'm just telling you, I'd be the next Don King if anybody let me, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm getting rich and I'm not hurting myself. Yeah, I'm all about this, dog. Like, Johnny Knoxville, like, should kiss Steve-O's ass every chance he gets. Because, yeah, Johnny Knoxville did some stuff, but he ain't do what Steve-O did. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Like,
those guys, I think they started off at different levels, but I think Johnny Knoxville, I mean, dude, he did some shit. He put a blindfold on and let a bull fucking gore his ass, basically.
Yeah.
That shit was
But
crazy,
the craziest
dude.
ones was them Wild Boy dudes. Remember that show, The Wild Boys? When it was like the Chris Pontius dude and the other cat. I forgot who the other cat was. But, bro.
It was Steve-O and Chris Pontius. And that guy.
Oh, yeah, it was Steve-O, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, they put like meat on themselves
animals.
and went up in a tree, and these tigers fucking or lions almost ate their ass. That shit was the crazy. I don't know how you get insurance.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? Because I know that's hard to do for anything.
I mean,
I guess
think that probably because you have like the safety, you know. As long as you have someone designated for safety, that's the liability guy.
Going up trees.
They had a medic.
Oh yeah,
bro. What you don't understand is Jabari, the African guide, is also CPR certified, bro. You gotta represent. You know what I'm saying? Don't sleep on my man's credentials. You know what I'm saying?
He's attached. But he could reattach your leg. We're fine. He'll sew that.
Right. Yeah, he's good.
He's good.
You're good. Or if not, you don't need a leg, brother. That's what I say. You need no leg, brother. You don't need no leg. You're all right. You're okay. Get up. You're okay. Like, I can't. My leg is gone. Right.
You can still laugh.
What was I about to say though? Oh yeah, I don't play with animals though, bro. I saw this show on the internet where in Korea it's called like dangerous karaoke or something, where they put you in this swing and people have control of this knob that goes up and down that dunks you in this water tank. And as you're singing, you got to sing a karaoke song, and then they start dumping animals into the tank. So they just like dump like 85 frogs into the water tank with you, and then they dump like 35 snakes in there, and then they dump like a baby alligator in there, dog. Like, just keep throwing more and more animals in the joint while you singing, and they dumping you in the water. So the people be like, oh, singing that little joint, and then all of a sudden it's like, then like when they jumping up, like, oh, like they be trying to like get out the swing, bro. It's hilarious, dog.
Dude, have you ever seen the SNL skit where Chris Farley is like a guy going on a Japanese television game show, but he can't
think I've seen it.
Oh, we'll watch that later. I'll put that on for whatever reason. But getting back to the video I was trying to show you, did you see what I sent you? According to the news, at least 63 arrests were made. I think there were 2 gunshot victims. So this was just a crazy thing going on that just happened this weekend. And at some point when you can watch this video, you'll be delighted at the amount of just insane. These people are all white. I don't see any other people here, but these are just like old moms, maybe some aunts, a lot of obesity, a lot of people eating McDonald's for breakfast.
Yeah, let's run it. Let's run it. Let's run it real quick. Let me see what you talk about. I got it at 1 second. You ready?
You need to just go to second 30. Go to 29. Right. So at second 29, you're gonna see a guy and a woman who looks like a grandma walking around with a buff beard. Right. So hit play, right?
All right.
Now you see these little BB duck.
Wash them hands for 20 seconds and keep them clean with the Germex. Totally.
Just drunk on TV talking about being sanitary. Look at all these people. What do you think about this? We don't have to watch this whole thing, but one thing I do want to show you is we can go through and just clip out all this one like drunk chick, because they have multiple things of her just going crazy.
Oh yeah, I see her now dancing. I went forward a little bit.
Been in quarantine and like I need to get out and party. Woo!
I'm here with News 12. White people are fucking crazy as shit still.
After several weeks of being stuck inside, thousands have flocked here to Bolivar Peninsula to make the most of their time while out.
Yeah, that was impressive. Well, I mean, there only is one news voice. It's a white voice. I mean, like I don't know what else you call it. I'm just saying, like they don't let you talk like this on the news. At least they're not going to hire me. I'm pretty sure. Even though I would be a great news anchor, just so y'all motherfuckers know, Channel 4 and 7 and 8, 9, 10, all y'all bitches.
Now, Kevin, what do you have to say about a clip like this?
In this first clip, what you don't understand is this man is fighting these women here over his laptop. And that's Chris Brown daddy right there. See, you didn't know that either. And in the Brown household, bitches get beat over laptops. That's just what happens. You put your hand on a $350 laptop, what the fuck you think gonna happen, bitch?
You just
what's going on out here?
Opportunity
I know, right?
Possible, right? With that,
I know, right? But if you're like, man, what's going on out here? I'm like, man, shit crazy, go. They out here showing this shit. Like 4, 5 people just running the shit, man. Bro, y'all send me all the crazy shit.
You're like that guy who was like on the news. It's like a viral clip where he sucks in the bug. So he's like all professional. And then he sucks that bug and he's like, these motherfuckers out here. Just loses his cool.
That led to Chris Wood's death. The fuck is that? Shit!
Oh man, I'm sure that like you know how camera people are, bro. Like people be acting crazy on set, man. I always think it's funny when you're like filming somebody and they're doing something like so classy, and then it's just like this person is a piece of shit. Like, we just smoked 3 blunts. Now they ever talking about saving the children and feeding animals and all this shit. Like, bro, we ain't getting high as fuck, bro. Like, what you talking about? Like, I'm just saying, but you know, not to put any judgment on you for smoking weed or anything. But I was just saying.
Do you think that these people that this guy was interviewing, are you saying they're intoxicated, bro?
Well, I don't know what was in those cups. I know that the open liquor laws are a little loose in that part of the country, though. So I'm assuming that they were on a little something, man. But I mean, honestly, man, like that wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Like those were like just typical. You know, that's a typical Americana down there. But if you ever been to any beach in Florida, that's what you see. You know what I mean? Like, it's all a lot of big vehicles, ATV-looking stuff, fat, you know, Spanish-looking people, like fat white-looking people, fat black-looking people. Like, I mean, that's what I saw in Florida. Like, just rich-ass, overfed people, you know what I'm saying? That was living it up, getting drunk every day. Like,
I mean, they are. I got to be honest. The lifestyle, I respect it. I would love to just be.
That's golf life.
I mean,
yeah, like if you live in the Gulf, like bro, let me tell you this story. I used to work at Porsche's Naples, Florida. So I would pick people up from the dealership, take them to their house or whatever, because it was like fancy. So, you know, you ain't got to wait at the shop if you don't want to. They'll take you back to your crib. You know, we'll pick you back up, bring your car to your house if you want to, whatever. Like that's just what we would do. So I had this one dude and he drops his car off and then he's like, I'm taking him home. And he's like, hey, man. And he asked me this before I even got in the car with him. Like, we're walking to the car. And he's like, hey, you think on the way we could stop somewhere? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, yeah, this you, baby. Like, I ain't busy at the shop. We do whatever you want, man. Like, you tell me, I got you. So he's like, oh, cool. Well, we need to stop. But we need to stop. I need to get a cocktail. You think that's all right? I was like, once again, I'm not your dad. Cool. All right, man. One more thing, though. Just don't tell my wife. I'm like, what?
I'm gonna go fuck this prostitute. Are you gonna say anything?
Well, I mean, like what he was claiming was that he could drink, but she was gonna be mad if she knew that he got one without her. Was what the problem was gonna be, right? So like, I legitimately am just like, yeah, man, like cool. So he's like, I know a place. So we go over, like it's literally right along the way to his house. So he obviously has done this multiple times, I'm assuming. But he gets there and he's like, yeah, just wait right here. We ain't got to park. I'm like, well, I mean, I can, you know, I'm not.
He's just going in, taking a shot, and coming out.
Bro, he must have did that because I swear to God, dude, like he literally went in there for like all of like maybe 4.5 minutes and came right back out. So if he got a cocktail drink, he must have chugged it. And I'm assuming maybe it was a shot, but like he said a cocktail, so I'm thinking like he at least got an old fashioned. You know what I'm saying? That must have been the fastest bartender in the world. Must have been no line. They must have knew him. He must have just been like, "Hey, hey, Greg, put it on the tab."
Hey, Gary, come on, man. You in here to pour your wife cocktail? Let me get that real quick.
Right. But then I take him home, and then at least 3 more times before he gets out the car, he's like, "Yeah, just don't tell my wife, man. Just don't say nothing. Don't say nothing." And I'm just like, bro, I'm not gonna talk to your wife. Like, get out the car, man. Like, you want me to come inside and snitch on you, bro? I just wish that I could have gone back in time though and just been like, hey, man, you know what? We went to that bar. That place was good, man. Them drinks was popping.
Yeah, right. He's like, what the fuck up, man? What the fuck you doing?
Get him in crazy trouble. That'd be the first thing you do when you come in the house. Like, that's what my niece did to my sister, man. She was like, my sister had to go get like a medical procedure or whatever. And she was like telling her daughter, don't tell nobody. First thing my niece does when we open the door, my mom had surgery. She didn't even say hello. I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, cool. Like, all right. She's like, I told you don't tell everybody. Why do you keep telling everybody? He's like, oh yeah. Like, I forgot. I'm just dying on that. But yeah, man. Just funny ass Florida people was the point of all that, is that, yeah, that's what they do out there, dog. Like, Galveston, just like Florida, bro. It ain't no difference in that sense to me.
Well, I just also have to say that the first comment on this video just says, let's be honest, quarantine or not, these people would have gotten fat no matter what. Oh, dude. Yeah, I just thought it was funny. I mean, salute. Hopefully nobody gets sick. Hopefully that's an indication everything's getting better. You know, we can all go out and chill and hang out. I don't think that's a great idea, but hey, they're having fun.
I mean, you're at the beach, bro. Salt water, baby. Just wash that shit off, man. You good.
Get
you
in
know
the
what I'm saying?
sand,
Like,
get a little sand on you. That'll get it all off.
she was singing the little wash your hands song, you know, the coronavirus song. She know what's up. She
out there, that's the mascot.
I give her credit.
That's the new mascot for America right there, bro.
Oh God.
Wash some hands for 20 seconds. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Wash some hands
Cuff
for
your
20
chick.
seconds.
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Can't get any better than that. Jeeps, man, can't get any better than that.
Wash some hands for 20 seconds.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. Can't get any better than that.
Just play the national
Bro, she's one of them
anthem
chicks
with
though
her.
that she's one of them low hanging fruit chicks where it's just like, damn, chick, like how you show up to the party drunk like this, man?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I gotta be honest with you. I feel like I'm just a little bit too drunk to stand up.
Yeah,
so,
and you were supposed to wait and get drunk inside the club, not outside the club. Nobody gives a shit about stupid drunk whore outside of a club.
That's a lot of talking you're doing. I gotta lay down.
Lie down. What are you talking about? What are you doing? D. Oh.
right, like
I already puked one time, y'all. You know, it's all good.
Bro, I remember that's how Nashville is, man. Some people out here, bro, it's some fucked up friendships out here, bro, where I've just seen people just drag their drunk ass friend all through town and don't take him home. It's like, bro, take him home, dog. Like, he is fucked up. Like, I've seen them, like, when the Titans win, dude, people will come out of that stadium just like leaning, dog. It's like, how many beers did you drink at the stadium? It's like, this ain't even from the stadium. This is the tailgate before the stadium, bro. He's been drunk since 8:30. You know what I mean? Like, right. He been drunk before God woke up this morning, bro. Like, he ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, so legitimately.
Go tailgate at a fucking Midwest college football game, bro. Any of them. It don't matter where. It could be the smallest school you could think of. If you go tailgating before those games on Saturday, it could be fucking -3 out. People are grilling, fucking emptying kegs, doing keg stands, doing fucking shots out there, dude. It was disgusting, bro.
Well, that's why I know
drink in the morning. I never got that. I used to have friends that would have these shits. I think it was on St. Patrick's Day. They do kegs and eggs, where you'd eat eggs and just drink beer. How does that sound good to you?
No, sir, not at all. I mean, I would be down to go get a big breakfast and then maybe have like a brunch drink at like 1 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Maybe get into the vibe early like that. But if I start drinking at 8 a.m., I'm not gonna make it, bro. I already know I'm not a big drinker.
I'm gonna be asleep by like 11 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
I can have one alcoholic beverage without really having any effects now. I used to be able to just put garbage into my body and just be pretty cool until I blacked out. But now, if I have a margarita, even, it could be the most girliest, watered-down drink. If I have one, that's my limit. If I go beyond that,
I'm the same way, bro. I don't know how people be drinking them like strong ass drinks, dude. 'Cause I used to be a bartender, bro, and I'm telling you, like I used to make like if you were supposed to get 2 ounces in your drink or whatever, I would always put extra just because like I ain't want to hear nobody fucking mouth, bro. Like legitimately, like people be sitting there watching me make drinks and stuff. I'm just like, you're watching me overflow my measuring cup, and I'm putting all that in there. Don't say nothing else. Don't ask for nothing extra. If you want a double, I'm gonna kill you. Like straight up, dog. Like I used to have a guy that would come in there. All he would get was Tito's and soda. He was this rich ass dude, and he would be like, "I'll make it a double, bro. Make it strong. I'm gonna look out for you." He would tip me like $40. So I was like, bro,
damn,
hell yeah, I'm about to hook your ass up, bro.
Yeah,
I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna hook your ass up, bro. I let this fucker drink almost a whole bottle of Tito's one time by himself, dude. Like to the point where it was just like, at one point I just asked him, I was like, "You ain't driving?" He's like, "Nah, I live right over there. I got 3 condos right there." I was like, "Say nothing else, bro. Do you?" Pour them up. But like if the glass was like this big, I was giving them that much liquor, bro. Like so that like, and then just 2 little dabs of soda, like drink it up. And he was down and I'm like, it was water, bro. Just gone. I saw him one time in the streets, not drunk. I hardly even didn't even recognize him, bro. Like he knew me and everything. I was shocked he knew who I was, dog. Like legitimately, like that's how drunk this dude always was when I met him. That when he saw me out in the public, he was like, "Hey," he knew my name, all that. I was like, "Damn, dog! Like you are the most incredible drunk on earth." Like I would let that man drink against anybody. He's on my team. Like we having a drink competition, that dude will shit on your whole life, bro. Like straight up, like just put the bottle to his head and be like, "Next, let's go."
There's some 20-year-old college kid in Northwest Ohio right now that's like, "Hold my beer. I'll fucking take that guy on." Fucking,
hey, bruh.
Oh, beer bong,
Good luck to
8 fucking bottles of liquor in 2 seconds.
Good luck to you, man. That's all I got to say.
I have seen some shit, like just people just drink insane quantities of alcohol. I remember one time this guy I lived with literally was so drunk, he was having a full-on conversation. And he passed out standing up mid talking. Like he was like talking drunkenly, but I mean it was enough. It was still a conversation, and then he just passed out on his feet and just went over. Man. I was like, "Dude, how much did this motherfucker have? What is that line where you can still stand, but you could black out at any moment?"
Well, I mean, you want to talk about blacking out though, motherfucker.
Hey, bro, let's not get into that.
Matt is notorious, bro. In Florida, Matt, I have a full conversation with you, and the next day be like, "I don't remember none of that shit." It's like, bro, you was coming up with ideas. You was funny as shit. You was popping like, bro, you was talking about all types of shit. It's like, nah. Last thing I remember telling you was, "Welcome to the bar." Like I'm going to get some drinks, and that was all I remember.
Oh, I was blacked out, dude. I was totally blacked out.
I don't blame you though. I mean, you were in the perfect place to do it because we did not live in a great place in Florida at all. And then also, I mean, what else is there? The place was
right in front of my apartment. I just had to walk a minute to pay $2 and have as much alcohol as I wanted. I don't know how it was legal, but
I don't think any more of those bars exist, dude. Like, I don't think that – I know TD's is gone, it's been gone, but I don't think that even that Knight's Tavern – I don't think any of those bars by that college exist anymore. I want to go back there just to see. I'm sure that place probably looks like a fucking NASA facility now, like that and Full Sail, but, like, legitimately, dude, like, I'm pretty sure all those bars got hit at some point because that Knight's Tavern place, I think somebody got, like, shot over there or something, you know what I mean? Like, it was always
they would have problems there when we lived there, but that TD's place – I'm sure somebody left there, they had like massive amounts of DUIs after, like once they closed, you know,
the kid died,
they let out, and then 10 minutes later there'd be like 50 DUIs because all those people were crazy rich in like New York for some reason that just would go out and fucking get obliterated. I mean, I was doing it too. I was doing,
but you didn't drive though.
No, I would just walk back to my apartment or fall asleep on the ground in the parking lot.
Right.
You know, whatever.
Classy.
Whatever.
Yeah, but nah, man. That shit though, that TD spot, dude, like that is the perfect example of when a free market economy gets out of control, dog. Where it's just like competition at its finest, but at the behest of the customer. Where it's just like, this isn't good for anybody, man. Because like, what was it? It was $3 unlimited drinks, $2 or some shit like that.
Bro, $2 and you would either get unlimited well drinks in a cup, but they would give you like 8 at a time, or unlimited pitchers where they would just fill a pitcher up with a well drink. So even if I'm drinking half, my drink of choice in that situation was pineapple and tequila, delicious. Even if it's half juice or whatever, dude, just insanity. Too many. I saw too much insanity at that place. But that's what it is. That's what Orlando is. It's just a fucking pot of just drunk and fucked up people.
Well, you know, even people from Florida hate on Orlando, dude. Like they call it Horlando.
It's not a good place. It's just like a weird. Everything about it. You're either where we live, which was not in where, like, I guess everyone assumes Disney World is Orlando, but you know, there's a lot of Orlando that's just an awful place. So where we live,
I was not a fan.
No, dude. But it's just as dirty, bro. I've lived in a lot of places. I've lived in Hollywood, like in the heart of what I would consider one of the dirtiest spots in the world. And I would prefer that to living in Orlando, dude.
Well, because you would still meet, like, quality individuals in LA where it's like, oh, yeah, like, this guy, you know, he came from, like, a good background and shit. And, like, you know, he's all cool and shit. But, like, in Orlando, just legitimately, like, every person you met from Florida out there or from Orlando would just be like, hey, you want some pills? Like, look at this gun, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you guys want to see a dead body?
Hey, guys, let's go watch TV, and you're in, like, 5 minutes deep in an episode of fucking some cartoon, and all of a sudden there's, like, an M16 out. He's like, check this out. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Like, what is happening here,
Call of Duty's happening now? What the fuck?
Right. Like, I just wanted to smoke a blunt and watch fucking Ren and Stimpy, dude. Like, chill out, man. Like, what's going on here?
Let's talk about some movies. Let's not pull out a gat and show me your pit bull that you just bought from some fucking...
Oh, yeah. Endless pit bull season there. I'm pretty sure half the pit bull population of the world resides in Orlando, if I'm not mistaken.
Jesus.
Oh, man. But yeah, just a funny place. But you know, you gotta live and learn, I guess, man.
Do you think that right now life in Orlando is like life on a beach in Texas right now, or are they chilling out?
I think that they're probably on the verge of civil war in Orlando, dude. Because I feel like they've been on quarantine for too long, and anytime you would go out anyways, there would be a fight, no matter what bar you went to, what part of town you went to. Like people just wanted to MMA it up all the time, but nobody could actually really fight. So, like, I just feel like maybe there's, like, a lot of tap-out fans out there or just, like, built-up aggression that I can't even explain from people. But it was just a weird-ass place where I was like, okay, let's stay in this bar for about 20 minutes, and then let's leave and go to another one because I feel like it's going to be a fight in here. So if they've been on quarantine this long, yeah, it's straight-up brawl season all day, dude.
Oh, dude, it's about to get – that's what I'm wondering is going to happen now because I see it happening out here where just like, being out in a grocery store or something – you know, people are starting to get really pissy about wearing masks. You see all the videos about, you know, people going off about that.
Yeah.
And one thing I find odd is that a lot of the people doing it are like it's not the young, it's the older people that are doing it, you know. Kendra said that she watched a video, and I think it's like a famous video right now of some guy in Costco raising shit. So, you know, the Costco employee's like, sir, you gotta put the mask on. That's just the store policy. I don't have anything to do with it. And the guy, you know, it's probably some kid or some dude that's like 20 some years old. And this old ass man's like, no, I knew when I woke up today, I woke up in a free America. It's like, what do you say to somebody like that, you know? But then I see where some people are saying where it's like, we don't know what's going on. It seems like we've all overreacted. So maybe, you know, we shouldn't be doing all this really crazy, strict, you know, quarantining and everything, but I don't know, man. I don't know what to think anymore. They put so much information out there that goes counter to the other shit.
Like I said, I don't necessarily believe that all the numbers, but I want to say that I heard today on the news they said that there was like 5 million cases worldwide of this shit, bro. So I mean, if 5 million people got it and it's a contagious disease, 5 million can easily become 10 million overnight. All it has to do is one person has to affect the next person, you know what I'm saying? And then 10 million becomes 20. Like, that's what they're trying to avoid. Like, that's what foolish minded people don't see, is that, like, in a pandemic type of scenario, the number becomes exponential. You know what I'm saying? It's not just that, like, oh, you know, one person got it and like only like 100 people got it. Yeah, but 100 people have the potential to infect 200 people. You know what I'm saying? If you don't try to do anything about it, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of what the worry is, more so with all of the precautions and shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, did they get overly precautious? Maybe so, but I'm just saying, like, if you feel that way, then go ahead and go out there and risk your life on this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I'm just going to let you know right now, I'm not going around licking shopping carts and fucking touching every surface. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all that shit. But if you want to prove that it's some bullshit, go ahead and do that if you really need to make a stand. But in the meantime, like, it's not that big a deal. Like, okay, yeah, man, you got to wear a mask. Like, it just is what it is, dog. You want groceries, don't you? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like anywhere. You got to wear shoes to go into a store. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't just gonna let your barefoot ass walk around the fucking grocery store. They want you to put a shirt on. You know what I'm saying?
It's not like it's unheard of. Like, you lived in LA. I live in LA. I mean, there's been mad people in my experience. Most of them have been Asian in the past, but you've seen people in public wearing masks when this wasn't an issue. You'd go on an airport, you'd see people wearing them. You go to a movie or you'd be out shopping, and some people had these shits on. And if you went to a city in Asia or someplace in the East, someplace where they have bad pollution, a lot of people have these fucking masks on anyway, and it's not related to a pandemic. So my thing is, and I was talking about this with Kendra, at this point, all I can do because I do have, let me try to word this right. I'm concerned because when this all started, and obviously I'm always concerned because my immune system's all fucked up. I think it's good, but I had a fucking crazy thing happen with cancer, and I had an immune system transplant, basically, to break it. That's more to it than that, but that's basically what I had. So for me, I have a compromised immune system. Anytime I get sick, it's a big thing. When I talk to my doctors, we have to make sure everything's fine. And I think my shit's good. In fact, I think I actually got this shit. Like, a lot of people think they might have gotten it earlier in like January or maybe even before that. I got sick in February and got what they were calling flu and pneumonia, you know, and I had all these symptoms that are identical to that. I'm going to get an antibody test here the next time I give blood at the end of the month and see if I actually had it. I don't really care, but what I was telling my wife, it's like, with everything, all this counter information, the people that I trust, like that Fauci guy who seems to be a pretty trustworthy person and a pretty expert opinion, well, now they're not putting him out that much because he's not vibing with like what Trump wants. So all the information where I would depend on, like, nobody's really going with what he said, but I am. Like, maybe the masks don't do much. It makes me feel more comfortable. They told me to do that. I wear a mask when I was going out in public when I first got my immune system thing a few years ago. So that's something I'm used to. And it's something that, whether or not it does anything, I don't touch my face. You know, maybe it makes me feel more comfortable.
Well, here's something too. Like we said before on previous episodes of this, that both sides have political motivations for either outcome, for it to say the numbers are going up or to go down. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why it's hard to really get any truth. I just think that it shows the ineffectiveness of the American government, how it's really designed to make shit go slow. You know what I'm saying? Like, because essentially, like, for example, like, if you want to, like mad Americans want to legalize marijuana, and mad of them don't, I guess. But, like, what it all really comes down to is, can you convince the senator and the representative to vote yes or no on that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, one guy, like Mitch McConnell, is literally the guy that you have to be like, well, come on, man, like, smoke J and see if you like it, and then we'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to really, like, do that in order to open that one person's mind. But then if you get him out of there and you get, like, me in there, for example, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm cool with it. But just in that small frame of to do that, like, hundreds of thousands of people have to all go with that one guy. And it kind of shows you, like, the ineffectiveness of, like, really reaching the people. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, if you were to ask every individual, you could get a more steadily likable answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, popularity versus going to a representative. And then it's funny too, because if you want to, I was telling somebody about this the other day. If you look at how the Earth is made, bro, like we live on a planet that is microscopic in nature. So like the first signs of life on Earth were single cell organisms, you know what I'm saying? So they're technically the oldest form of life. And then like the next level of that is plant life. Then there's animal life, you know what I'm saying? So like if you look at the development of things and creatures, cellular life is going to always outnumber us and always out defeat us in terms of like progression. Like if you want to look at like their evolution as technology, and then our technology is our evolution. You know what I'm saying? So like the way that cells and like microbiology, like microorganisms develop is that a generation will come and like, let's say like you pour like let's say like it's a single cell organism living like a pond or something, right? And like they're healthy and everything. And then you pour like a bunch of battery acid into that pond. So now the environment's more acidic, and then like a whole generation of themselves die, but not all of them die, right? So the ones that survive now can live in a more acidic environment. You know what I mean? So now they live in a more acidic environment. Now they're stronger. So like maybe they get like a stronger mucous membrane on the outside of them or whatever. So now they don't break down as much. So now an animal drinks that same water and gets those cells in them. And usually its stomach acid could kill those cells, but now it doesn't because they're stronger because of the battery acid. So now you eat that animal, and now you're sick from that animal because usually something that it could have killed in its stomach, now it doesn't, and it gets to the human population. So now for us to react to that, like that cell could change within a generation, all of those things, but now people have to go and now get rid of that whole generation of those animals that are polluted by the cell. Like that's kind of what's even going on with this virus. You know what I'm saying? Like somehow it was able to mutate and change. And the only way we can keep up with it is through our technology and science, you know what I'm saying? Because if not, the only other way would be that a whole generation of people would have had to catch coronavirus. Like that's what they did in the past, you know what I mean? Like everybody caught the Black Plague. Some people lived, some people died. Eventually, you know, they got new health plans and stuff, but eventually they were able to, you know, make it so that it wasn't spreading as fast because people started getting, you know, resistances to it. But it takes longer for humans and animals to do that versus plants and single cell organisms. So like, a lot of people don't even understand that's what we're dealing with, like almost like an alien, dog. Like they keep saying the invisible invader or whatever they're calling that shit. Like I hate that they're calling it that, but that kind of is what it is. It's literally like a higher form of, well, a lower form of life with a higher development or like mechanism behind it. You know what I mean? Like if people develop like that, like we'd all have like 4 arms. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you know, like you'd be like, well, I gotta have 2 jobs so I can make more money. So I need, you know, your computer over here and talk on the phone over there. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. But we don't do that. You know what I mean?
I mean, I just don't think anybody has any real. It's weird that we have so much built-in history of dealing with shit like this from the past, but people don't want to really acknowledge those facts. Like those are facts, you know, the smallpox epidemic and all that shit that people have gone through. That you could talk to people now that went through that. I know my dad went through some shit. I forget what it was called, but
like polio and shit.
Yeah, all that shit. Like, you know, like they saw these things go, you know, move through, and in some cases, like smallpox, I think, like the ultimate answer was that it burned itself out. You know, eventually, all those things where you're talking about immunity, it happened. You know, and people eventually got over it, and then that gave people time to develop some sort of a vaccine. Well, that's probably what's going to happen now, but nobody really wants to have the real conversation where, you know, they can set all these deadlines and, well, maybe we'll open stuff up here more at this point. But the real answer and the real comfort that everyone wants isn't going to be for like 2 years. It might even be longer than that. It might be shorter than that because they're putting all these like urgent, you know, they're trying to really get all this stuff put through, but there's only so fast you can do it because you can't kill people. It could just like, you might wait 6 months and something you give somebody mutates in their body that kills them. So you have to wait to make sure that's not going to happen. So I just think that people are getting all pent up, and, you know, you and I kind of have a different philosophy, you know, and I, especially because of my issues that I have just in my general health. So all I know is that I can only do what I think smart. I'm trying not to judge people that are going out and just like, you know, being normal and not wearing a mask. If you're not doing anything to be near me or coughing and you're just being normal, cool, do you. I'm not going to like be like, where's your mask, bro? Where's your fucking mask? But at the same time, like, I don't like people I don't like the feeling that I'm getting where it seems like there's this pent up frustration that we're not back to normal yet, where that's not a legitimate thought to be having. I want it to be that, but it's not. We're not at that place. So all these stories about opening up and shit, it's great. Hopefully it works, but to me it just seems like we're ignoring a lot of real information and setting ourselves up to really have some sort of drastic shitty thing happen in a few months when we do open all this stuff up again, because people are just, and it's only because people are getting frustrated that they can't go have a meal at a restaurant.
Well,
sorry.
I think a lot of people are getting scared because they're not working. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of the problem with America, man, in general, is that America only works if the wheels are turning. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you put everything on pause and shit, like the market's not moving no more, or there's not constant flow of money, then we really don't have any worth in the world, because that's really what America's about. Like, in the grand scheme, global economy wise, we're kind of like where you go to wash your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like a lot of like, you know, suspect sources of money and shit. And then like things like that, like drug corporations and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't really talk about this a lot, but like drugs kind of make the world go round, bro. So like, and guns, you know what I'm saying? So like, we're the main manufacturer of guns, and then we're the main buyer of the drugs. So like, when America's not moving the same way, you can't sell houses as quick. You can't launder your money as fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes things more challenging. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think that's part of the reason why there's a big push to go, you know, start things back up. And like, I know I'm always talking sinister about the government and shit, but like, I don't know, man. I just have not really seen in my life where I've seen that they've done anything that really has benefited anybody to like a great extent. You know what I'm saying? Where it was just like, damn, man, that helped everybody out. Like, everybody got to go to college and now we're all smart. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, they figured out a way to make it so, you know, you can see farther. I don't know, just any fucking thing, man. Like, just something beneficial, dog. I haven't really seen it, but I have seen plenty of evidence of where they've pulled moves on shit, you know what I'm saying? And double crossed people and said one thing and did another, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. But
That's what I mean. That's the only thing I've ever found in my experience in general, is that, you know, when I was young, I was worried about the government like taking over my life, and I was into conspiracy theory and shit. So it made me distrust the government. And I've kind of grown out of it, where I realize it's not maybe as sinister as what I originally thought. And, you know, there's levels to everything, and maybe there is some sinister shit. There's definitely some sinister shit going on. But fuck, weed. Why'd you fuck my fucking memory up? I had a point. But oh no, just that in my, you know, as I get older, I've always thought the government, in terms of like what us wanting something to happen and them making it happen and them promising things, that never happens. To me, all this political bullshit, it's all futile. It does nothing other than get you pissed off or happy if you're winning. If your team's winning, you're happy, and if not, you're pissed off constantly, and you're constantly making all these bullshit statements, and nothing gets done. Other than weed getting legalized, which is a money thing, it was financial motivation. If you can get money to motivate it, and people see that utility into it, then it'll get done. But otherwise, like making universal health care, they do it, and then they peel shit back, or they take it away. It's just like somebody does something, and then the next guy who's the opposite team comes in and is like, blast that. We don't want that on the books because my team wants to be responsible for that. So this is our idea. And it's, you know, it's like, okay, I'm just going to live my life. Whatever you want.
My thing too, though, man, is like, if you were to look at the history of government, like it started from like, go back to like fucking cave people and shit. Essentially, the strongest person was the leader. You know what I'm saying? Like wolf pack mentality type shit. Then it became not only the physically strong, but the financially strong, because it got to a point where like as a king, you would have dominance over the land through tax evasion, you know, taking taxes and shit. But then there would also still be rich servants that you had, you know, that were still in your kingdom, but were rich families because they were bankers or whatever, that would even help to finance wars. So then as a war financer, you had power over the king. You see what I'm saying? So now that same thing plays out in our government, dude. So like we had unlimited lobbyism in American markets where legitimately someone can hand a fucking politician $200,000 under the table to sway a vote one way or another. You know what I'm saying? So like you have now bypassed the entire system of democracy to begin with. And like same shit, if you look where we got democracy from, we got it from the Greeks and the Romans and shit. What they did in Greece and Rome was they used democracy to placate the common man. So like, you know, they would sit around and say, oh, we need to have a vote on when we're going to have this festival or whatever. My people want to, you know, provide the meat so we can get some money from it. And then my people going to bring the wine or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And like whoever was the wine supplier had the hookup with the voting guy. So he'd be like, yo, I'm going to cut you in on every part of the sales, you know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 whatever. Like it's always been under dealings in democracy anyway. So it's naturally bred into the system. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if there's a better rule of the land. Like, I don't know if like, everybody having a vote makes a lot of good sense either, because there's a lot of dumb motherfuckers out there that don't even know about half the shit that we're even talking about. You know what I'm saying? So like, even me, am I well informed enough to make a decision on the political state of Iran and Iraq and shit? Like, I don't fucking know. I would tell you leave all the motherfuckers alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, they minding their business, we mind our business. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't how the world works. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like maybe it's just that maybe even the common person has too simplified of a mind. But then when you look at politicians, they're not even really trained in the shit they're supposed. I was about to say they're the same thing too. Like they're just political science majors. Like they're not like majors. Like you're like if you're like that dude Ben Carson, he's the head of HUD, Housing and Urban Development. That motherfucker ain't never built a house. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't never developed a city. Like he's a doctor. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So like, even amongst doctors, bro, like if you ask a proctologist to look at your heart, he's going to tell you, I look at buttholes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't look at hearts. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know nothing about that. Show me your butt. I'll tell you what's up. But other than that, like, that's how it works. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't, you know, comprehend even like I feel like a better system would be the best suit person for a job should have that job until another candidate comes along. Just like, you know, any other job, like, if you were like a bartender and they hired another bartender, he was better than you, he would get better shifts than you. You know what I'm saying? If it was fair like that. And then you step your game before you wouldn't. So like, if you're the president and somebody, you know, be the president for as long as you're doing a good job. And if somebody comes along and says, hey, I can do a better job. Here's my credentials, blah, blah, blah. I know this, I know that. Like, then let him be the president. You know what I'm saying? Like, just more as like an interview type of situation, whereas not people are just like getting selected in the shit. But then who interviews the guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all types of different levels of even coming up with a new idea. But I just feel like the way the system works now, it's been proven that it's fucking faulty and has been for a long ass time, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like if governments were really working, like there wouldn't be fucking wars and fucking famine and shit, but that shit runs rampant. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's just funny when you look at numbers and how much they spend on different shit. And it's like, well, if you didn't kill people and go around the world and occupy different places and you just spent the money you do on defense for just our people, all the homeless, I guess like that money could definitely take care of most of the problems we have here.
Right.
You know?
But those people will tell you, oh, well, then somebody's going to come blow your house up. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be another 9/11 and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll try to sell you that idea.
Yeah, but you don't have to go away with intelligence, but we don't need to be putting $35 billion tanks in China and have a base and all that shit and all the manpower and all the logistics. Take all that, focus on maybe just knowing what's going on globally and assessing the danger levels of that, but don't have any, you know, don't focus on just constantly having people in different countries either to fuck people up or to make sure that if we do need to fuck somebody up, we're in a good position to do that. Like that's the only reason we're there. It's not to do anything else.
You know what else is fucked up too? More than I'd say 60% of the political problems that they deal with on a global stand or whatever is all racism based, dude. Like, if you really look at the heart of it and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, mad people in China and shit that are struggling or whatever, right? Like, there's a whole, like, big nationalist idea of what it means to be a communist in China versus, like, what it is to be, like, you know, like a regular person wanting to have freedoms and shit. And it's not necessarily race because they're all Chinese and shit, but it's, like, classism and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all, like, something that's, like, a construct of the mind that really doesn't exist. That's all of our political problems, dude. Like racism, classism are like the two highest things. Cause like, look at like Rwanda, you know what I'm saying? Like those are all black people, but you're this type of black person. I'm this type of black person. person. Same thing in Iran and Iraq. Like, you're a Sunni Muslim, I'm a Shiite, Shiite Muslim. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you're all praising to the same God. Like, how can you, just because y'all see one thing differently? You know what I'm saying? America, white, black. You know what I'm saying? Like Mexican, whatever. Like, you name it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they always constantly are doing these things, and it's kind of crazy to think that shit is that powerful to be used against us for so long. Because, like, if America could just let go of its racism problem and just be like, look, man, we're just going to, across the board, Mexican, whatever, we're going to truly live the American dream, that shit would be amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of what happened back in the day when they had Ellis Island and shit. They let all those people come, but they were all Europeans, you know what I'm saying, that they let come. But even still, like, they got to come and experience the dream of, yeah, you can be anybody, bro. Like, don't worry about it. Like, work hard, save your money, we'll figure out something. You can be a famous movie star, you can be a fucking train worker. Like, we got some work for you, you know what I mean? But now there's this concept of, like, there's not enough to go around, so we got to keep it all. That's why we got all the guns and the tanks and shit, because it's like, yeah, you go fuck with America if you want to. We're going to put this F-22 up your ass and shit. And it's like, that's a $20 billion jet. And it's like, yeah, I'm with you, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, fam, like, pay my student loan off real quick, motherfucker. Like, I'll come fly that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up?
Yeah, you could
like,
enrich everybody's life moving forward by letting them have free college, free education, free healthcare. Take away all the, like, I know that it's nice to be able to achieve your dreams, but I think a dream that everybody also has when they're stuck just struggling their fucking ass off and they don't have healthcare and they don't have money and they don't have a plan and they don't have any possibilities. If you could alleviate the healthcare and the education so that people could actually go to college and not have to worry about how much it costs. I know, you know, have to be ways to figure that out, but, like, if you could do that, you would definitely be making the situation here for everybody that's here now. Like, don't make it so it's impossible to get into the country. If we can let people in, let people in. I'm not educated on the constraints and the limitations of what we have here to let people into the country. But what I will say is that the money that we have that we're putting into blowing shit up, basically, the blow shit up budget, take 75% of that, cut it. Do whatever you got to do to make those people that lose their jobs because of that they have jobs here. And in the military, there's plenty of shit you could do for them to help create an infrastructure here using whatever talent they got from the military, whether that's building shit, you know, whatever the shit is. There's expertise you get from that. So why not do that and make the situation here better for everyone so that if people come in, they're not even just coming into something where they have to struggle. It's, if you get in, you're getting into, it's like the most exclusive, best club ever. It's the utopia. That's what it should be. We all get to live and not worry about shit and not be forced to fucking have a boss and have all these things that, I mean, be healthy and shit. That shouldn't be something that you should have to dole out money and have to worry about. It just doesn't. I mean,
legitimately,
like
dude. Like, you have to sacrifice your health to survive in America. Like, you have to, like, some days as an average 40-hour-a-week worker, you have to eat Burger King, dude. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I got caught outside of work. I didn't get to eat lunch, whatever. I've been working for 8 hours straight. I haven't ate all day, and I'm not gonna cook when I get home because I got to go to sleep so I can get up and do it all again the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are literally situations that are designed to kill you the way that we have the system set up, and it's like, instead of looking at the system and saying it's fucked up, we look at the other man and say, no, you just lazy. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you ain't good enough instead. Where it's like, really, the system from the start is a losing game, dude. It's like I was telling you with that show Alone. Like, they fucking dropped them people off in the middle of nowhere with no backup supply of food and be like, just survive out here. Whoever stays out here the longest wins. But, like, even, like, Native Americans didn't do that shit. Like, they had corn and shit. Like, they would, like, have a base camp that they could go back to when they went out into the wilderness. They didn't just, like, go out and be like, I'm the only guy. If I don't catch a fish, I'm going to die today. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be somebody fishing over here, somebody fishing over there, somebody hunting. So that way somebody got something and then we all share and share alike. You know what I mean? But people, American mindset is that, well, I caught the rabbit. Well, I got to feed you. You know what I'm saying? I'm hungry, motherfucker. But it's like, well, because tomorrow he might catch the rabbit and then you're going to be starving. You know what I'm saying? But we don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? And then what you were saying about cutting the budgets and shit, is not now the best time more than ever to do that shit? Because how are you going to fight a war when there's a virus going on that could kill both sides of the battleground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like,
put all that money into finding a cure. If you want to find a cure so bad, put all that money, put all those billions and trillions of dollars into that. Take $1 trillion from all Jeff Bezos's rich ass and put it into that and figure it out. Because realistically, the only way you can speed up anything is with money. That's the only way that you're going to get all these results that everyone wants quickly or more quickly than is usual, is with a shit ton of money. That's all it's going to take. And there's an easy way to get that. Stop making bombs. Stop buying them. You don't need them.
Well,
you already have a stockpile.
Fam, how shitty do you look if you drop a bomb on somebody during the coronavirus? If you do a drone attack right now, like what does that do for you as any leader of any country? You look like a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's what I'm saying. Like, go ahead and cut that budget. Like you said, break us off with some education. And if we really need to pay it back that hard, dude, like, I got the perfect example. We can end on this if you want. We can talk some more about it, but I think this would be hilarious if they just put like a big ass treadmill out in the middle of the city, just like a long ass row of them and shit, and it connects to the power company. So if you owe some money on your student loans or if you owe some bread to somebody, you got to go out there and just hit the treadmill, you know what I'm saying? And you get to attack the obesity crisis and the financial crisis simultaneously because you're getting back to the system, you know what I mean? And as you run on the treadmill, you just power the city, dog. You know what I'm saying? While you get shredded, bro. Like,
I'll get on that right now. Let me run all that money out. I have a lot of hours I got to do. I'll be fucking shred city by the end of that. And debt free. That's what I'm saying.
Bro, I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's a good compromise, bro. Like, you want free college? You got to go out here and put in 3,000 electric hours on that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just every, couple of weeks, you got to go out there and just put in a solid, like, 30, 40 minutes. Eventually, by the time you, like, 35, 38, all that shit add up and you paid it off. Like, I'd rather do that than have to get a car, pay my rent, pay my fucking student loans, you know what I'm saying? Like, pay my light bill.
Find a job when there's no good jobs to be had.
Right.
Like,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
my thing when we got out. It's like, yeah, I signed a paper, but when you're trying to just when you have the stress of wanting to finish school, and if you don't get money, then you can't, you'll do whatever you have to. So that's one thing. That fucks you. So then you sign the paper. Then you get out, and there's no real job. Like, you could get a job, but a $12 an hour job, when they want you to pay $200 a week or whatever insane shit they want you to pay these fucking loans off, it ain't happening. So then you have to stress about that. And then you put yourself in a bad job doing some shit you don't want to do so you can pay off that shit and live. So it just doesn't make sense, dude. They're just not – there's got to be a better way to do that so that you don't just – I mean – how many of your friends, I can tell you legitimately, probably 60% of the people that I know personally, good people, probably have strong jobs, haven't paid their student loans off.
Bro, my sister's a doctor. My sister is a doctor, bruh. Like, I'm talking like the epitome of college. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not only is she a doctor, she's an anesthesiologist, which is some of the highest paid motherfuckers out there because they put people to sleep and shit, and it's like a highly, functional skill. She said to me multiple times, I've already signed in my head, I'm not going to ever pay my student loans off. And she had a scholarship. Bro, she had a scholarship. Like, all her loans are from medical school. Like, her actual college from 4 years, she had a 4-year college scholarship, bro. She didn't pay nothing in school for that. Then she got to medical school and somehow racked up now, like, almost $500,000 in debt, bro, for trying to be a doctor, bro. And it's just like, that's a skill the world needs anyways. If somebody's willing to put them, because I wouldn't do it. Like, I'm smart and everything, and I think that if I had studied it, I could do it. But in actual practice, I know for a fact I could not be a doctor because I can't look at blood and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it bothers me. You know what I mean? So, like, for someone to be able to do that shit, like, that's impressive, dog. Like, give that person every benefit of the doubt, help them along the way, do whatever it takes. But no, we want to say, well, yeah, you want to be a doctor, cool. Like, you're going to pay us back, though. You know what I'm saying? It could be a house and a half. You know what I mean? Like a mansion and shit. Like, it's crazy, bro. And I'm sure, I'm sure there's ways that you could commit to paying it off if you want to make more sacrifices and shit. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really benefit you because, like you said, you're still running the rat race. So, like, I could give them $2,000 over here, and then I don't got to worry about that loan and my credit getting fucked up.
It ain't even like taking money off your loan. You're just giving them something to, like, for the add-on. And if you live in LA, good luck. No matter where you live. Like, I don't live in a big apartment at all. I live in a 400 square foot apartment, and there ain't no way that I can do that. You have to have a car out here if you want to have, like, the job that I have now. So you got to pay that, all the stuff involved with that, groceries, and then they want their cut. It's like, okay, here's
Bro,
$5.
if I had actually paid what I was supposed to when I got out of school and my student loans when I first got out of school, it was like $2,500 a month. Like, most people don't even make that much money in a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I said that to the person on the phone. I was like, to the loan officer, I was like, bro, do you make enough money to even pay this yourself? I was like, look at all of the numbers that they want me to do. Just add them up. He was like, no, I don't make enough money to do that either. I was like, exactly. I was like, what job in the world can do this shit, bro? I was like, tell me, because I will go apply right fucking now, dog. Like, even if I don't got the skills.
A job, the job you could get that might, like the job I have now, great job, benefits, pretty decent, and I still have employment right now. But you're doing something you don't want to do. You're just forcing yourself like deeper into some sort of like depression because you just have to pay those fucking bills. It's not even a matter of what you want to do. It's just like, well, just gotta do what I have to because fucked up.
Well, why can't food, shelter, and power be a fucking inalienable right? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we rewrite the Constitution so that internet is like a fucking, you know, a necessity versus it being something that people can sell to you? It's all because we privatized everything, dude. It's like what I was talking about with jails and shit the other time was legitimately because it's a for-profit thing. Like, jails are in the business of locking up the population, dog. Like, they'll send you to jail because it's $1 bill on the back at the end of all that shit. Same thing with like your student loans and shit. It's like, yeah, we'll let you go to college and learn all this shit, but at the end of the day, like, now you're indebted to us. And the thing about student loans is it's such a perfect system because, like you said, now you're stuck in the rat race. It's not just a loan. It's also, I need a house, I need food, I need water, you know what I'm saying? And like all that shit. But a mortgage is the same way. You know what I'm saying? You got a mortgage, bro, they got your ass for 30 years. Like, you're working, you're contributing to whatever the fuck society wants you to, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to.
It's crazy.
Like, yeah, man.
I hope I pay them off, but they can suck a dick.
I mean, honestly, as someone who is in the process of almost paying all of theirs off, it's not even really worth that shit, dude, at the end of the day, because my credit is kind of high, but I don't even want to buy nothing off that shit, because then as you buy something with credit, then all that shit gets affected again. You're stuck in that same race. Like, yeah, I can go get a newer car, but if my car works and then I want to go get a $30,000 car, that was how much my loan was that I paid off. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm back in the same spot I just was in with a car now, like, that they could take away at any moment, and I still got the fucking debt on my credit. So it just doesn't make sense to me, dude. Like, I'm not really with any of that bullshit. But
the next loan I take out is going to be a business loan, and it's going to be for some shit that I want, you know, to do. It ain't going to be no other bullshit. I mean, Jordan's one of my friends. He's having issues with his apartment. And his fucking landlord's like, well, if you're not working, here's an application to take out a $10,000 line of credit and shit. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. It just never ends.
Yeah, man. Just taking advantage of people in their lowest times, bro. I mean, that's the story of America, dude. Like, shit. Hustle the poor man up till you get rich. Shit.
It's fucking the ultimate pyramid scheme, and just you get caught up in it and you just never can get out of that shit, dude. Just fucking Sally Mae just gets you funneled into that system real easily.
Bro, school teaches you how to be an employee. You know what I'm saying?
There's no reason I should be doing what I'm doing, and only because I went to college I know how to fit into an office, dude.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, otherwise, because like that's what you do at an office. You sit at your desk and you work all day. That's what you do in school. You sit at your desk and you do the assignment that they give you. Like, it doesn't matter what the assignment is. Every class is the same. English class looks like fucking math class. It's just as numbers instead of letters. You know what I'm saying? Like, same shit with all those shit. So that's legitimately what it is. We have that mentality because we were brought up in that system for 12 years of how do I become a better employee? And the better employee you are, the better grades you get. You know what I mean? This grade just got switched for money.
Well, I mean, hopefully all this shit, I've seen it in my job where it's like this situation we're all in is like hyper putting the, I'm fucking up I can't talk today, but like it's basically putting everything on a fast track. Anything that we need to do, like figuring out how not to have like a paperless office. that never would have happened before, but like my job's done that now because they have to. So like hopefully this situation's creating that for a lot of other things too. I hope so. Maybe schools, because now everybody's doing video classes, they won't be able to actually charge that much for all this shit.
I might have said this to you before, and this is kind of a crazy concept, so I don't want to get too deep in it, but essentially what it's showing is, like, I feel like 2020 has a theme of, like, if something isn't efficient enough to carry on into the future, it's dying. You know what I'm saying? And, like, when something dies, it's violent. Like, it's not a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? So, like, literally what we're seeing is, like, the death throes of the global market economy system where it's, like, China has to have the lowest paid workers so that we can buy the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, what's going on is China is trying to take the power from us, too, in a way where they do want all that shit. You know what I'm saying? They want the fancy cars and the nice clothes and all that shit because they're working hard to make them anyways. Half the cars come from out of their factories and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, why we keep sending it there and making money because we can get more? Like, just make our money the main currency. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all the death throes of all that shit, man. So, like, what you're saying, dude, like, the school systems, the office shit, like, your office used to work one way now. It can't do it no more because literally the world will not allow it, dog. Like, I think it's almost like a spiritual type of a battle type of thing where it's like legitimately like wherever there's an imbalance, something comes to create that balance again. You know what I'm saying? It's like Godzilla and shit, bro.
No, I hope people look at it like that. I hope that's why I don't get like people getting all negative. It's like we're in a negative situation. Just like do whatever you can to make it positive. Work out, eat better. Like I haven't eaten out in 2 or 3 months since this shit started. Me and my wife haven't gone out to eat at all. And like just doing that and seeing how much money you save, like this is gonna show people all the whatever your thing is. If you can't do it, like it's gonna show you a different way to do something if you need that. Or like for me, if we don't need to eat out, we don't need to eat out. Life's just as good. You can make delicious shit at home and you save like hundreds of fucking dollars. Even we didn't eat out a lot, but now just
and you enrich yourself.
Yeah.
Like when you learn how to cook better and, you know what I'm saying, spend more time with your woman, you know what I'm saying? Like
I don't have to work out in the gym. I always struggled with going to a gym. Now I'm not going to pay them. That's more money I'm saving. It's just like, maybe that's like, that's just my positive out of it. But I don't know. I hope everything that's kind of like, that's what we get out of this instead of all this negative shit where it's all this, everyone's all this is so divisive. And you see these videos like we make fun of these people on these beaches, but you know, I just hope whatever the positivity we can get out of this. I mean, us doing this is a positive. We never would have done this without this, you know, this situation. So I don't, you know, it's hard to. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to criticize people. Everyone wants to have fun, and I don't want anybody not to have fun because I can see myself being of age of these people I'm seeing in these videos. I hate to sound like an old man, but if I was 18 and this shit was going on, I'd be acting like a total fucking jackass. I'd be doing those things. I'd be talking loud and saying, fuck this. This is stupid. I don't want to do this anymore. So I get it. I don't want to be a hypocrite. But me now, you know, I'm just going to live my life to the best. And I hope we get out of this better than we went in. There's an opportunity here. It's not all bad.
I mean, what you're kind of referring to, dude, is like discipline, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like with like not eating out and working out at home now and stuff. Like the American lifestyle is not one that breeds a lot of discipline, you know what I'm saying? Because everything is touch a button and you get it, you know what I mean? But like there's benefits to having a certain type of discipline within yourself. I mean, that's kind of what like a lot of the self-help people talk about, like that Jocko dude, like Goggins, like all those guys, because at the end of the day, like you're building not just like a better person, but also like mentally, like there's like a fortitude and a growth going on. And like, I always tell you, bro, like you look at plants and shit, man, like plants grow, but like plants are in a war with each other. Like that bush next to that other bush is fighting for the sunlight for that tree next to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we look at them, it's like, oh, they're beautiful. And they are. But at the same time, like underneath the ground, they're fighting too. Their roots are tangling each other and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like through struggle, do you grow? You know what I'm saying? So like, this is a struggle that the whole world is going through. And like, if you look at the rest of nature, like it will be a growth. You know what I'm saying? Like now, is it a cancerous growth that's what we all have to try to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we all get to rioting and fighting and shit amongst ourselves, and then trying to hoard the resources, like, that's when shit's gonna go south. You know,
that's kind of what I meant by like not liking that attitude of like people being so divisive. I just don't want. I don't. That's when I sort of like the feeling I got when all this shit was starting, where you'd go out and you'd start seeing like people hoarding supplies and shit. And it's just like that general mentality of like us versus them and me first and all that shit. I just hope that that's not what keeps growing, because I see a lot of that, and I even feed into it, like making all these criticisms about people. But at the same time, I hope it doesn't go that way. It could go both. It's when we're at that point now where it's like that edge of the sword type thing, where this could then lead to something amazing, or it could lead to something where it's just like, fuck. And I think it's going to be funny, like the history books and stuff, how this is viewed in the future, because I think this is a really critical time right now where people, if we do the right thing, it'll be like, that's where everybody figured it out. And if we don't, it's like, well, that's where it all went to shit right here in this year in 2020. That's when it all started to fucking buckle.
Well, one thing that I would hope that people would acknowledge, though, is that this is the edge of the sword, but there are also people that are like financially motivated or have other motivations behind them to want to go back to the way things were. You know what I'm saying? There are people that do want to keep the arms of control locked on people, where, we do keep on staying inside of ourselves, where it's like, yeah, me. But I have seen like to the flip side of what you're saying, that I have seen in this time, more people are keeping that mindset of like, damn, man, like, how can I help somebody else? You know what I mean? Like, let's like try to be, like keeping that 6 feet and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like showing that you want to protect someone else's health versus just being like, oh, I'm not gonna wear my mask and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole Costco shit. Like, so people all went against the guy with the mask, but they could have went against Costco and been like, yeah, they right, man, fuck these masks. You
that's what I mean. Like I'm sure if you went into the comments of that video, you would see that. Like, this fucking guy is a piece of shit for saying that to that guy, making him wear a mask. But it's like, it's like, for me, when I see like, I like The Fighter and the Kid a lot, like podcasts. And the one dude, Brendan Schaub, is like being really anti all the restrictions, and I like them, and I like the most of the time what they talk about. But like when I hear people saying shit about like, he's being ignorant, like they need to lift all this shit, this is dumb, this and that, I get it, and I do in some ways understand it. But it's like, man, it just sucks, like, because I am. And there's a lot of people that are even worse off than me that are immunocompromised, where if this is real, if this isn't a full-on just this doesn't exist, it just sucks that you're getting people revved up and, getting them where it's like, I don't want to fucking wear this mask, but it's like, I don't want you to wear this mask either, but man, like, it really helped me out if you did. I don't want to get sick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, or older
that's why
people.
I went in
That's why it surprises me older people are the ones propagating all this shit, where it's like, I grew up in America, I woke up in a free America. It's like, what? Yeah,
I just think that I think it's just showing the failings of the system, bro. I think everybody's just so dissatisfied with government for so long. I mean, part of the problem is that we got lied to for 8 years with Obama and Bush too. And then we also, now we have a president that hasn't done shit, you know what I'm saying? Or the shit he's done, once again, has not been truthful in what he said he was going to do. He's going to revitalize the American economy and all that shit. Where are we now? You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
It looked good, but it's like, those are paper. I just never believe, and that's a problem. I don't believe anything that comes out of real media anymore. I don't know who to trust when it's a number or it's some bullshit publicity video or something. I don't really know. I need to know that those numbers are correct. And I don't know if there's any way that we can know that those numbers are correct. Because whatever you're getting them from, whatever the source is, they probably have a bent one way or the other.
Right. Well, a lot of those sources anyways are funded from other places. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a scientist, you have to get a grant. You know what I'm saying? So, like, most grants come from privatized companies, you know what I mean? So like if you're like a microbiologist and you're doing research on, jellyfish to make a new vaccine or some shit, that medical company is the one funding your research. You know what I'm saying? So like you might be out there catching jellyfish and shit and it's all love, but at the end of the day, like you're making a product, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're not, you're going to lose your funding. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like with anything, dude, like you as a person, you're backed by your job. You know what I'm saying? So everything you do is in motivation of that. Like, even like now, like I'm not going to say certain things because then I become an unhireable candidate. You know what I'm saying? If I go in here and start talking about gay bashing or, you know what I'm saying, whatever, hating on people and stuff a whole bunch in a like real way, like that makes you not a good person. Like we've seen it before on social media where people have come out making videos talking about like that couple with the making a black person. Did you see that? Like when they say like they go up to their sink and this girl puts like how to make a nigger.
I saw that crazy
like that shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like, but then those people now are like dealing with the consequences of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And like that's kind of what's going on like with anything, dude. Like no one ever tells exactly the truth, dude, because you can't, you know what I'm saying? Or if you do and your truth is against what everybody else says, you're gonna get, you know, ostracized from that shit. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Like if you want to, I mean, I guess you could say it's a free country or whatever. I tell people say whatever's on your heart. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you really feel and you think it needs to be said, go ahead. But at the same time, like if you had a grandma, she'll tell you straight up, like everything don't need to be said all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Like that's what that was, because now you're dirtying other people's waters. Like what you're saying with the mask shit. Like if somebody told me that because I didn't wear a mask, I killed you, how would I feel, dude? You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
what I mean. Like, I don't want, if you just got somebody sick in general, if you go over to somebody's house and party and you have a cold, right?
Right.
And then they call you the next day like, dude, I'm sick as fuck. You'd feel bad as shit anyway. Then that's a minor thing. It happens all the time. I've done that. I've had it happen to me. And when you go into an office, the same shit happens. And you can't do anything about it. But I mean, just getting it out there, it's not even what he's saying, because in some ways, like a quarter of me or whatever, you know, I believe and I truly agree with some of what he's saying, but it's just like getting people all revved up to where you're like, man, this guy's a dumbass. And like, we don't need to be doing all this. You don't need a mask. And making this combative attitude where it's like, you know, something that's even, it's not a big thing. Putting a mask on when you're out in public it's only out in public. When you're driving around, you don't need one. If you're on a trail and nobody's around, don't wear one. I don't think there's any issue with that, but don't make it where it just feels like there's a lot of people putting out this message where it's like, these people are fucking, this isn't America. You can't restrict us. And it's like, for me, where I am, like visually, I don't look like somebody that's sick. I'm not old. I don't look frail, but I have a compromised immune system. So for people to put that out there, it's like, as much as I agree with it, dude, like I don't want to be in danger. And like this applies to even like my wife. She's with me all the time. So like, you know, she isn't sick, but again, her friends, and it just keeps going on and on. It's like how much separation you have between these people that don't want to do that and do, and it's fucking scary, bro. But at the same time, like,
most of it is ignorance, though, dude. Like I think a lot of people are even saying that because they're either misinformed or not informed enough. Where, like what we're saying, like someone can look like you and not be immunocompromised. You know, I mean, or be immunocompromised, and I would never know. You know what I'm saying? So like in my head, that's a healthy guy, so I can be around him. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? But really, I'm fucking, you know, threatening your life and your livelihood. And if you ask me to put a mask on, then I'm like, no, man, fuck that. I'm a free man and shit. Like, that's just being inconsiderate at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if
that's
you're
what I mean.
house,
like that Costco video. Like if that guy in the Costco was like, hey, man, I understand what you're saying, but I actually am immunocompromised, so please put your mask on. This is store policy. But that guy probably wouldn't, like, would he have said what he said to that guy if he said he had cancer? And that's what I mean. It's like, that could happen a million times. And the people wouldn't speak up or say that, but that might be the case. Or that guy at Costco, maybe his mom has cancer and he has to go home and take care of her or something. It's like, that isn't the case, but that could be the case. You know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just think a lot of people just don't even understand how disease spreads and shit. They just are just totally misinformed. It's like I was saying, dude, if 1 million people got it, the potential to get 2 million people sick the very next day is 100%. Like, if you let 1 million people go out into the world with a sickness that could spread like that, and they meet one other person, and it's 100% infection rate, or even if it's a 90% infection rate, almost 100, that would be like 999,000 people would still end up with the shit. You know what I'm saying? So now you got 1,999,000 with the shit. So, you know what I mean? Like, the number is terrifying to think about, bro. But I just think that people don't even comprehend that shit. Like, there's just too many people, like, they listen to what they want to listen to. That's the problem with the media, is that you can literally not hear a varying opinion of your own at any time. That's not real news. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the news was real, then you would hear shit that agreed with your stance and shit, and then you would hear shit that didn't agree with your stance on shit. You know what I'm saying? But all you ever see on the news is they obviously want to put gun regulations in. So anytime there's a school shooting, that's what the topic is about. You know what I'm saying? Like, gun regulation, even though what the real topic about school shooting should be, how do we keep our children safe? You see what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't even be about guns and all that shit. It should be about, why are our schools being shot up? What is the root of this problem? You know what I mean? Like, but we don't even
why
get
is
into
it happening so much more?
Right. There's an agenda behind it of gun violence and shit. You know what I mean? Or whatever, like regulations on guns in America. I think that's what's really going on with all that type of shit, where you don't really ever get the truth. You always get the spin. You know what I'm saying? And then people believe the spin so much that it becomes a reality, and the facts just get washed away. You know what I mean? Like, that's why that Fauci dude, I'm sure that's why he threw his hands up and was like, I'm giving you the data. This is what I know what you know. You know what I know. There is no other thing going on here, bro. But you're telling me to say this, and the numbers don't say this. So I can't say it, because then I'm being held liable for that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like being a whistleblower. Right. Well, it's like being a whistleblower, dude. Like, it's kind of fucked up, but Obama did that shit to Eric Snowden when he blew the whistle on the NSA, and he fucking, tried to lock that dude up and shit. But what really should have happened is that they should have tried to protect that guy, because he saw something going on that was wrong, and he was like, yo, we're fucking spying on the American people, dude. Like, people need to know about this. But instead, we made him the criminal. You know what I mean? So now, but on the flip side of that, let's say he didn't say nothing, and then it got found out later, he would have went to jail. Like, let's say like it was a big case behind it, like some other guy caught it, right? And then like everybody got mad. The Supreme Court wanted to get everybody in trouble. They would have been like, oh, Eric Snowden was the computer guy that saw all the data right here. Why you didn't do nothing? You going to jail. It's like being a Nazi. Like, I was doing my job. Well, you killed the Jew, so you going to jail, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a war criminal now. Like, same thing, bro. But since we don't protect the whistleblower, everything is out the window now, dude. So like, that's what Fauci was trying to do. He was trying to be like, yo, dude, like, I'm not going to say wrong shit, because then I'm going to be the one that gets in trouble with your ass. You see what I'm saying? You can say what you want to say, and that's you. But if I say it too, now that's us. And I ain't with all that, because I know that if the chance comes, you're going to throw me under the bus. You know what I'm saying? Because it's fucking Trump, and that's what he does. So, it is what it is, bro. Like, we talk about this type of shit every episode, pretty much.
It's all right, though. I mean, this is what's on there. I think it just naturally comes up because it's everybody's, like, this is what the world's attention's on. But, it's whatever. But I will say that maybe to end on a lighter note, and this is also kind of dark too, but I do have one other video I did send a link to.
I saw the title of that.
Yeah. You're not going to see anything. I just think it's funny that, like people like Twitch, a lot of people are live streaming constantly. There's a lot of celebrity in that, and there's a lot of money in that, and video gamers do it. People would just like, I've been watching a lot of videos just like where it's like creepy internet videos that people find deep diving and shit. So like, there's a lot of people that just Twitch them searching like the dark web and what they find. I don't know who this particular gentleman that we're going to watch, what his expertise is. But I think everyone needs to keep in mind that there are cameras on most of our devices. And sometimes you don't know if it's running or not. Maybe you just forget you have it running in the background, which is what happened to him. But essentially in this video, what you're seeing is a guy who's, waiting to have whatever his live stream is. He doesn't realize that his camera's on. He's just living his life. It's just some fat guy on a couch. I mean, it looks like me, a little greasier, a little more weight, in a dark room, waiting to do his video of whatever it is. He forgot the camera's on. He maybe stumbled on a little porno, and he starts wanking it, wanks it to completion. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. I was getting a call here.
No, it's all good. But this will be real quick. So this guy just forgets the camera's on, wanks it, And then that might be his pre-show ritual, because he literally starts the feed, but it was going, and so he's done. He comes to out of that post-jerk haze where he's like, what the fuck did I do? And realizes at the end of the video that he's like, oh, the camera was on this whole time, huh? And you see like in his eyes the panic that he realizes that a few dozen, maybe a few hundred people just saw him beat off from like the neck up. It's just him, like, you see basically this, and he's like, this is fucking, it's so crazy, dude. I'll put it up, but here, let's watch it once so you can see it. Open it up. This is just showing the progression. He's beating off, and it's like hard to tell what he's doing. It's like, man, is he thinking hard about something? And then his head starts going back, and it's like, wait, what is the fuck? Is he possessed?
It just says, when you nutted so hard as your triplet become an unoperated muffin.
He looks like that guy from Trailer Park Boys. It's Julian from Trailer Park Boys, I think.
Hell yeah.
But,
oh, man.
I mean,
Julian meets Bubbles. Shit.
And he's just...
Dude, this is hilarious, Doug.
But, like, there's nothing criminal happening.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know. Hello.
Oh. So for everybody out there that live streams or is on the internet at all showing what you're doing, you know, if you're about to just, you know, have a little bit of romantic time with yourself or your lady, or get caught in this precarious.
Oh, man. I mean, at least he kept it kosher, you know what I mean? Like, that camera could have been full focus, straight up, you know, shade or bait or whatever that site is.
What if his beat off stance is like standing up, so it's just like you're directly staring into the pipe, bro?
Oh man, standing up beat off position.
Hey, I've heard weirder. You said about that guy that had that crazy shit where he was fucking.
Oh yeah, heated lotion. He had his whole ritual, dude.
I was gonna say, this guy, you know, this is instead of like listening to some like heavy metal and like getting revved up, he's just like, oh, time to just blast off real quick before I do this live stream. Let me just bust a nut, just get real.
It just showed you the power of pornography, dude. Like, it was just, the temptation was too great. He's like, well, I mean, my computer is right there, and I'm already sitting on the couch. I mean, I got some tissues over
for 5 minutes. I mean, I can bust one out real quick. But then he got into that, like, where you start scrolling and it's like,
right.
This
fall into the portal.
This is too homemade. I need something with, okay, that's better, but now I need a black chick. Okay, maybe more. It's just like, okay, how much? Then an hour's gone by and this guy's just on the fucking live stream beating off. So that's what happened.
We might want to talk about this next time, but for me, I try to watch the most raunchiest porno because I secretly hate all those people because they live a life that just seems awesome, where it's like, oh, I just get to get mad puss all day.
I've just been previewing my latest flick entitled Live Hard.
You know what I'm saying? So I just hope that, like, the more crazier it is, the more they don't like doing it. And then I get off on that, where they're just like a 20-dude gangbang.
This is some sadistic, like, next level shit.
I'm just kidding.
Like, I don't get off on the sex. I get off on the mental abuse these people take because
exactly.
Okay,
I want you all to be tormented.
We'll cut this part out.
I just thought that was funny as hell, dude.
Well, we can talk about your sadistic beat-off methods next episode. That's topic 1. But for now, let's call this. I think episode 6, we went too dark. We went dark and deep. So this is the perfect ending.
For sure, bro. Till next time, everybody. We'll see you next week.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Any better than that? Jeeps, man, any better than that?
There's only one thing I can say about that clip, IB.